Oh, my goodness. And there it is. Wow, gets it to Indigo.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Bowl TV. Once again, my name is Matt Kinizawa, and thank you for joining us for our continued coverage of the PWBA. We have an exciting event coming up today. Shift gears a little bit to our national PWBA Tour stop. A little bit of regional action here at the International Training and Research Center in Arlington, Texas, with the best players around the country. Again, on a regional level, some are familiar faces. You've seen them all week long. We kick off the Classic Series here at the ICRC, 3 national PWBA Tour events today. Look at those players for this event. So sit back and enjoy the 8 games of qualifying and then put the field down to the top 4 for the step ladder finals that will be coming up later tonight. 8 straight games across the ICRC today. Aaron Smith will be joining us in just a minute for commentary throughout the day. We'll tell you about the players, storylines, and recap the entire event kicking off the PWBA Tour season here in 2021. The 2 events concluded so far. The Fuller General Classic, IPLC Classic. Congratulations, Shannon O'Keefe and Brianna Cote for winning those PWBA Tour titles. Who will take it today? Looks like we have a field of about 14 competitors for the regional edition, and we'll have more on that and those players as things get going here. It should be pretty quick competition with, again, 8 games, 2 players per pair of lanes at the ITRC. So with that said, let me bring in my co-host for today. We've also got some special guests scheduled during the coverage. So enjoy. Sit back. If you have any questions, let us know in the chat. We appreciate you joining us here on Bowl TV and enjoy this PWBA Tour competition. Aaron Smith, come on in. Let's talk about some bowling.
Let's do it, Matt. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Happy Sunday, and welcome to the PWBA Arlington Regional. Excellent way to kick off the show there, Maddie. And we're excited for another opportunity to get to see these athletes compete. We just got to look at the pattern. 37 feet should allow for some scores out there. So we're going to kind of see how these players handle it. It's going to move pretty quick here for these 8 games. But the PWBA regional program, a thing that really came back in full in 2019. We had 3 events in 2020 prior to the pandemic shutting everything down. 13 events scheduled are to be scheduled throughout the course of the year. More information on that will be available at a later time. But another 2 regionals is going to be at the other Classic Series events over the course of the 2021 season. A few with other PWBA Tour national stops and a few standalone events. So the growth of the regional program was definitely a big highlight in 2019. And we even have a champion from the 2019 season, Elise Bolton, competing this at this event right here. So she's looking to become a 2-time titleist. But we got some good players, and we also got some fresh faces, which is important to note because essentially they had to follow the same procedures and protocols that the players for the national stop had to do. They haven't had to be there the whole time, but they've come in the past few days, have gone through the testing process, similar to everyone else at the Kickoff Classic, and they've been waiting for their opportunity to get on the lane. So this is it. They've been waiting for their 8 games, and at the end of the day, we are going to have a regional champion on the PWBA Tour.
Aaron Smith, excellent rundown of all the details, of course, in the regional program. The intention is to give the players kind of a stepping stone or just a way to test their skills against some of the best players around. Maybe they're not yet ready for the stresses and the magnitude of the national tour and the big stage. So a breeding ground for national success here. It's worked the same way in the Professional Bowlers Association for many, many years. just a chance to get out there, establish yourself, get comfortable with the level of competition and the formats and the travel, and then potentially make that next leap to the national stage. So, again, some of these players, we've seen them throughout the week at the Kickoff Classic Series, and now, again, just shifting gears for the day and a different level of competition here with some additional faces, as we've said. So looking forward to meeting some of those players and then explaining more about how it all works and what we've seen so far this week.
Yeah, that's some great points there as well. And, looking at some of the players who have benefited from the regional program in the past couple of years, Julia Bond is the one who kind of is the top of the list. She's entered 3 events and she's won all 3 of them. So Julia's still waiting for that first big breakthrough event on the national tour. She's been close. She actually finished 6th at the ITRC Classic last night, just missed in the stepladder final. But the success of that at the regional events has given her some additional confidence. Gigi Mason has been a great player on the regional tour as well. 2 titles for her. So, those are a few of the standouts we mentioned. Elise winning in Cleveland last year. So opportunities to build confidence, and hopefully we get to see it, come to the next level down the road.
Well, and an important note to point out too, Mr. Smith, throughout this week, we had 36 competitors for the Kickoff Classic Series, and 24 of them advanced to match play, which is essentially the Hall of Fame Classic, the final event of the series. So those 24 players are not eligible to compete in this regional event. That's why you don't see some of those names like the Julia Bond. She will be competing over at the Hall of Fame Classic. So that resumes tomorrow. Again, that's 24 of the 36. So these players who bowled throughout the week did not make that cut for the Hall of Fame Classic. So they are able to compete here in the regional event today. Plus those you mentioned who drove in specifically for this event.
Excellent rundown there. The other caveat for that, for regional competition, if you've won a national tour title, that essentially exempts you from being able to compete in regional competition. So, that was a big part of it as well. There's certainly an intimidation factor going up against, players like Liz Johnson, Shannon O'Keefe. So to also have that caveat as well, just allows for more confidence out there. So we're excited to see the progression throughout the course of the event today. We've got a few players to talk about as well. Some folks, obviously, the storyline is going to be some redemption for not making it to the Hall of Fame Classic. But it's going to be a good day here. We're going to have 8 games of qualifying. And for the folks who are watching on Facebook, on the PWBA and the Sport of Bowling USBC Facebook pages, we're just going to show this first game before we go ahead and move everything over to bowltv.com. So if you're on bowltv.com, you're already all set. You've created your login. But if you haven't checked it out yet, we encourage you to do so. Qualifying is going to be free all day, just with a login. It takes like 2 minutes to do. Super quick, super easy. Boom, you're done. And from that, you can catch all the action. And not only that, you can watch every pair in play. So I actually saw a comment in the Facebook chat about, being able to watch a specific pair. You can do that over at bowltv.com. You can switch from pair to pair, follow your favorite players, and get to see the entire International Training and Research Center. So a lot of great opportunities. We've been doing giveaways all week as well on bowltv.com. So we've gotten out a lot of great stuff. And for our stepladder finals tonight, you will need a subscription. There's going to be 3 options for the subscription, an annual or monthly recurring for $79.95 or $9.95. Or if you just want to watch the stepladder finals tonight for the regional, that's going to be $4.95 to pick it up. So quick, easy. You can click on the Join Poll TV tab to get that done. But those are going to be some of the benefits throughout the course of the week. On this channel here, Matt and I have the ability to go from pair to pair as, storylines develop. That's been a big talking point as well. As people have runs of strikes, we can go over there, take a look. If we have a close match, we don't have match play in this particular event, but we can kind of just follow the pace of the event, go back and forth. but you have the option to go from channel to channel as well. If you're already on BowlTV.com and you're a little more curious about that, you can use the navigation underneath the video if you're on desktop and just pick lanes 1 through 4, 5 through 8, 9 and 10, 11 through 14. If you're on mobile, top right-hand corner, 4-box window pane. That's how you kind of scroll through the different channels. So we have all that available. And Matt, we talked a little bit about the subscription there, and we've had some great stepladder finals at the PWBA Bowlers Journal Classic and ITRC Classic. We'll have one more tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, and then the Hall of Fame Classic to wrap up the Kickoff Classic Series on Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. So a great reason to get a subscription. But let's kind of hunker down, get into the competition. So we're going to go full screen here so you guys can enjoy lanes 1 through 4. As we look at the oil pattern for today, 37 feet in length, 23.895 mils. It looks like a combination of fire and ice. Kegel oil, Kegel, the official lane maintenance provider of the PWBA Tour. And just taking a look at the graph, it looks, we talked a little bit about Christmas tree shapes a little bit earlier in the week, and it kind of has that look once again. 5-to-1 is the ratio. So we said we expect players to get to the pocket quite a bit. But as we've seen at the ITRC, get to the pocket is one thing. Finding a way to get all 10 down, certainly another from time to time.
Well, Aaron Smith looking online at PWBA.com. Looks like some money is a motivator to knock all the pins down, of course, here. That's a great spare pickup there to start the day on lane 2. $1,300 up for grabs for today's winner. $900 for second, $750 for third, $600 for fourth place, and $450 for fifth. So about a 1 in 3 cash ratio. If there was anything besides maybe a free dinner to get me striking, it would be taking home a couple $100. So getting to do what I do and enjoy and win some money for it. Absolutely motivating enough for me. And if nothing else, the opportunity to spend the day at the ITRC. What a sweet facility we have there. A terrific sponsor of last night's ITRC Classic. So just really looking forward to finishing this event out and seeing what the rest of the week and season have in store for us.
Of course. Looking at our featured pairs here to kick things off on lanes 1 and 2, as we mentioned, just 1 through 14 in play this week. So that's actually a little bit of a change from what we had at the national events. We only used 1 through 12, but it worked out with 14 players in the field. Pace of play is going to be quick, but Ali Tatro and Rena Sabo on 1 and 2. And then Stephanie Martins and Fania Kobo on 3 and 4. So Stephanie and Fania bowled the Kickoff Classic Series, to not qualify for the Hall of Fame Classic, but they're looking to end their week on a positive note with some big scores here down the stretch. For Ali and Rena, this is going to be their first event. They did not bowl the main event, so they've been sitting around for a couple of days looking for their opportunity to bowl. And 2 talented players in their own right. Ali was a collegiate competitor at Wichita State and has found some success in the regional program in the past, and also had a nice showing last year at the 2019 USBC Queens. For Rena Sabo, a very accomplished player from, I believe, the Colorado area. Had a great run at the women's championships last year, I believe placing in the top 5 in the singles events. And I know you'd be mad at me if I didn't verify that, Matt, so I'm going to go look right now. Yes, from Bennett, Colorado, Rena, 227, 265, 276 for 768 for a 5th place finish in Wichita, Kansas last year. So always nice to collect a top 5 out there at the WC. talked a little bit about Fania throughout the Boulders Journal Classic and the ITRC Classic. Also a product of Wichita State, finished up her collegiate career in 2019, and has also competed internationally for Puerto Rico, finding some success in the past as well at PABCON events. So she will be a rookie this year out on tour. And for Stephanie Martins from Brazil. So some international flavor as well at this event. Stephanie, I know, put on one of the more inspiring performances a couple years ago, I believe at the PABCON Women's Championships, set the tournament record in singles. I believe she went like 318 over for 6 games or something like that, and ended up winning all events as well. I would defer to my main man, Matt Cannizzaro, to verify those numbers, because I feel he might have been there for that. But I just remember that being such a great performance. And for Stephanie, someone who's out here every week on the PWBA tour almost, it was great to see that success translate to the international stage as well.
Definitely always fun for us to tell those stories from the lanes and watch these players develop. And you're absolutely right about her success at that event. It was all events in singles. And she's really come into her own in recent years. I know, you mentioned the collegiate program for some of these bowlers, and looking at the roster, that really is a theme, almost top to bottom. All collegiate success and experience. And again, the regional program being a stepping stone to the national tour. College bowling has served in the same regard. So a lot of these players, including Stephanie, had that collegiate experience. Hers was at Weber International. And to enjoy that. And then once graduating, she was able to take some of the tools and things that she learned and return home to Brazil and worked on those things, worked with her equipment and her timing and different things. And then all of a sudden it just fell into place for her. So to see that happen at that event, that was inspirational for the young bowlers and for those who maybe have had struggles. And just to see it all fall into place was pretty amazing. And she continues to work on things and try to excel. And, again, looking at this roster, pretty stacked top to bottom and very familiar names, whether it be collegiately or internationally, including Jody Shearer, who we saw this week. She is from South Africa. She was the 1998 PWBA Rookie of the Year. So many years of experience there on the international stage and in PWBA competitions. So, to see the diversity, I guess, of the roster, to use a word, again, in the international part, the collegiate part. So expecting a very good show today for some talented players who are very familiar names in those worlds and looking to make the next jump, as Stephanie did, competing for Brazil and traveling the world, really getting to do what she does.
All right, folks. You mentioned Jody, and she's bowling with Sydney Brummett right now, and they are putting up some strikes over on 9 and 10. So we're going to go ahead and head over there real quick. So you're going to see Matt and I hop on the screen here for just 1 second. Not too long, folks. We promise not too long. But we're going to head over there, lanes 9 and 10, and see the strikes from Sydney Brummett and Jody Shearer. Some quick max scores for Jody, 269 still out there. For Sydney, 280. Sydney's been a member of Junior Team USA first and then Team USA now for quite a few years. Still looking for that big breakthrough performance on the PWBA level. Had a great run at the 2018 Queens, finishing in 6th place. And, of course, some excitement in her life as well. Recently accepted a coaching position at Mount Mercy University in Iowa, one of the top programs on the collegiate spectrum throughout the country. So I'm sure all those student athletes will be looking forward to getting to learn from Sydney's wisdom and time out on the lanes as well.
Aaron, you mentioned that Pan Am bowling event in the Dominican Republic where Stephanie Martins really shined. That was an opportunity, too, for Sydney to kind of make her her Team USA debut. Right? She's newer to the program as a young player coming out of college, has some junior experience, but that was an opportunity where she was able to spend the week with some Team USA veterans and get that experience and enjoy what that competition was all about. She took home a handful of medals as well, gained a great amount of information and experience from that, and then has proceeded to continue to be a part of the Team USA program. So again, to be able to learn alongside some of the players she has, similar to on the PWBA tour, of course, her roommate this week, and for what likely will be the 2021 season, Brianna Cote. Right? They get to room together, discuss things, and Brianna, the big winner in the ITRC Classic. So an opportunity to learn from now a two-time tour champion and a veteran, and share that knowledge back and forth, and then take that back to Mount Mercy and to Team USA. It all is just it's a big small world. I guess everything works together, and it touches every part. And great to see the progression. Again, we get to see many of these players grow up from the Junior Gold Championships to college bowling to Junior Team USA, and the PWBA Tour now. So it's just phenomenal to see that growth and experience and be a part of it. And I wish we had more time this week to talk to Jody Ellis Shearer to hear her story. That was a little bit before our time when she was excelling on the PWBA Tour. Definitely would have been curious to hear more about where she's been, what she's been up to, and her experiences and the things that led her back to the tour here in 2021. Maybe we'll have that opportunity today, Aaron.
Certainly so, Matt. We'll get a cool view here, potentially, as well as Sid finishes up with 256. This shot was a staple of the stepladder finals, and you'll see it again later tonight. We even have a slow motion aspect as we see Jody, unfortunately, run a little bit high there. Looks like they 3, 6, 9, 10. That is never fun to shoot at. So I'm sure Jody was sweating out that corner or that 9-pin there, but makes the spare stage clean. Is going to be in the 240s. Once again, folks, live scoring available at PWBA.com. The very first banner that hits you says results for Arlington Regional. You can find all the links you'll need to know about the tournament and so much more right there. We also have it here at BowlTV.com. You can get there if you're looking above the chat. There's the information tab. Click on that. I'll take you to the same page as we work our way through the house. Abby Ragsdale, another rookie on tour, 218 to wrap up game one. .209 from Elise Bolton, but the real big games, courtesy of Sydney Brummett and Jody Scherer, 256 and 248. So some of the big numbers out there, Mr. Cannizzaro. And as we wrap up game number one here, folks, for all the people watching on BowlTV.com, you're all set. You're ready to go for game two and the rest of the block. So we'll be right back to you here on our main channel feed. But on Facebook, the PWBA and the Sport of Bowling USBC, we're going to be saying goodbye momentarily. So once again, just a reminder, you can watch all the action by heading over to bowltv.com, create a login. You can watch qualifying all day, all 8 games, just with that login. It takes 2 minutes to do, nice and easy. We'll be having a giveaway as well throughout the course of the block, so be on the lookout for that. And then later tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, the stepladder finals. It will require a subscription. You have 3 options to choose from: an annual or recurring, which gets you access to the entire site for $79.95 or $9.95. Or you can pick up an event pass for $4.95. So a few different ways to check out the action. We surely hope you do so. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and once again take the bowling down for a quick second. You're going to get to see Matt and I one more time here before we sign off for game number 1. We'll be back with game number 2 in just a moment. But folks, once again, on Facebook, we hope to see you on Bowl TV. We've got a lively chat going on. A lot of great folks in there talking bowling, talking life. It's a great time. Check it out. But for right now, we'll be signing off from Facebook. So we hope you head over there, check it out. For the sneak peek, if you will, is going to come to a close. 7 games left to go for this 8-game block. But that's going to be it for Matt and myself for right now. We'll be right back. And on Bowl TV, folks, bowling lives here. We'll be back with the PWBA Arlington Regional. All right, everybody, we're back here for game number 2 from the PWBA Arlington Regional, taking place at the ITRC in Arlington, Texas. My name's Aaron Smith alongside Matt Cannizzaro. And we've been here throughout the course of the week covering the Kickoff Classic Series, 3 national events and 1 regional to basically get everything going for the 2021 PWBA Tour season. The 2020 season was canceled due to the pandemic, so it had been nearly 500 days since the top competitors on the PWBA Tour had the opportunity to compete. The Bowlers Journal Classics are our 2-time reigning PWBA Player of the Year. Shannon O'Keefe come away with the victory, her 14th career title. And yesterday, just an unbelievable finish to the ITRC Classic. Brianna Cote and Jillian Martin, the 16-year-old standout, going down to the very end. Just a fantastic final. Brianna collecting the win, the second of her career, but plenty of buzz in the bowling industry across social media about Jillian. Matt, I know you got the opportunity to talk to both of those competitors yesterday after the show. For Bree, obviously very excited about the just being back in the moment. She had 3 tough losses in championship matches over the course of the past few years, but definitely a breakthrough win. And looking back on some of those past runner-up finishes, that really helped her in her performance yesterday in the win.
But in talking to Brianna, it's just so different, right? We know this is a different world in 2021, but when she won that event back in 2016, she had so many friends and family members and supporters, and her husband, she and her husband run an apparel company, Apparel EFX. So they all had matching shirts. The entire audience was filled with Brianna Cote shirts. Everybody matched, and they were there to support her. So for her to win that event and come off the lanes and just to see all of them around her was so awesome, and the emotions that she had. And then last night, of course, the players so appreciative of the opportunity to be back in action and to have this chance to compete and follow the procedures and protocol and all the things they need to do. They appreciate it, but it is different, right? The emotions were there. She said it was it's been so long, it felt like the first time again. But to not have those folks around, she knows they all were watching thanks to Bowl TV, which is amazing. And these players, they will do absolutely anything. They've all been very vocal to be able to compete. So to be able to be here and do that and win and share that in the way with the folks that she did, so special. Again, you mentioned the 3 heartbreaking losses, really, just phenomenal performances up until the very last frames for her. But in those losses, we learned, and she learned so much about herself and stepping up in the moment. That's the most important thing. The one that really stands out is the stone 8-pin that she left against Sandra Anderson. A strike there, they tie, right? They have a roll off, and the title hopes are alive. Stone 8 cannot throw it any better than she did in that moment, which is all you can ask for. And the pins just didn't cooperate. Right? So she loses by a pin, takes that experience, and realizes that she stepped up in that moment. That's all you ever want is the chance to do it, and she did it. She handled it so well. So she harnesses what she did right there. Once you let go of the ball, you can't control it. So she took all that forward. That's just one instance of the things that she's learned and put it all together and stepped up confidently last night. I don't know if I could have handled, even in the smallest event at home, having to shoot a corner pin to win the title. And she did it effortlessly, was able to mentally get into a place where she slowed her process, visualized herself making that spare, and went out there and did it, even to the point where it looked like it double tapped it. That's how perfectly she handled the 10-pin. And then, of course, went up and delivered a strike to seal the title, and such a special moment for her. So, and then talking to Jillian as well and hearing her thoughts, she is in awe of this experience, and as we are in awe with her performance, right? Just amazing what she's been able to do, and then still leave the lanes, focus on her schoolwork, doing her homework, all the things that a 16-year-old would experience. But yet here she is competing against some of the best bowlers of all time. and one especially, Liz Johnson, 24-time PWBA Tour titleist, an inspiration to all of us and all the bowlers and the next generation. Liz has been around for a minute doing this, and Jillian said that these are the players she has grown up looking up to. Again, at 16 years old, the timing is just right for Jillian to be making this transition into this world. The PWBA Tour came back in 2015, and now she has these bowling heroes to look up to and aspire to be like, and now she's out there competing with them and beating them even. So I know they're very grateful to have her out there, and her 16-year-old brain, as some of them, where she can just relax and have fun and enjoy the moment and not worry about the stresses of it. Yes, she was disappointed in not being able to pull off the victory, but just the experience itself to climb up the ladder and beat some great players along the way. The experience, invaluable. Being at the ITRC, incredible. And she's still got one event to go. So she's been an inspiration to the bowling world too. A lot of chatter about her success and the possibilities and the future. And everybody, I think, looking forward to seeing 24 more games at least of Jillian Martin. So very cool stuff there for both of them. Very happy for both of them. And they are great spokespeople for our sport and ambassadors, and verbalize that experience incredibly well, both in victory and defeat. And looking forward to seeing what they have in store for us. And hopefully the news spreads even more beyond the bowling world, and some attention is brought to the PWBA and to those players in their home communities as we really get rolling here in 2021. It's just the beginning of what's going to be an unprecedented, amazing season filled with champions and success and great storylines.
Excellent recap there, Matthew. And as we settle into game two on our featured pair, once again, we're going to see Stephanie Martins and Fania Cobo on 5 and 6. And over on 7 and 8, we have Abby Ragsdale, another young player to be on the lookout for. We'll tell you a little bit more about her in just a moment. And Sabina Brown, another player who is just competing in the regional. So this is our first look at her competing this week. So excited to see what Sabina is going to be bringing to this event. Off to a good start this game. 4 strikes in a row there. Still can get into the 260s.
Well, you mentioned in analyzing the pattern today that we were probably going to see some bigger scores. As far as the oil ratio and such, leaning in that direction at least. People like strikes, right? We determined that last night. People love it, and we should see a few today from these great players making terrific shots and entertainment. There's a lot of options out there right now of things people could be watching. But I think this is far better than the NFL and whatever else is potentially happening in the world. But I'm getting some photos and things, texts from people. They have all their multiple devices out. They got one thing on the phone, one on the tablet, one on the TV, one on the computer. So we appreciate being a part of that.
Absolutely, Matt. So taking a look around the house with live scoring at the moment. Elise Bolton and Brittany Brown on lanes 1 and 2. Ellie Tatro and Rena Sabo on 3 and 4. Summer Jasmine and Kara Smith over on 9 and 10. Jody Scher and Sydney Brummett still striking quite a bit over on 11 and 12. And Tina Williams and Jackie Evans over on 13 and 14. Taking a quick look around the house. Had a few scores north of 200, highlighted by Sydney's 256 and Jody's 248. Abby Ragsdale had 218. Elise Bolton, 209, and Tina Williams, 206. Will be your top 5 here in the early going. And as Abby delivers the strike there, she was a player who, in the collegiate ranks, was someone I wasn't familiar with when she went to St. Francis, Illinois. But she quickly made sure that we knew who she was, winning Rookie of the Year that first season for the Fighting Saints. And from there, her career continued to blossom on the collegiate stage, and that success transferred over to junior gold as well. In 2018, ironically enough, right here at the ITRC, Abby qualified for the finals in the U20 division and had a great match, bowled very well on her first TV appearance, and caught one of the worst breaks we've ever seen, I think, in potentially junior gold history, to miss advancing to the title match. Needing a double in the 10th, she got the first one before leaving a stuffed 8-pin to see her run come to a close and finish in 3rd place. But, she used that as a catalyst moving forward, was Player of the Year in the 2018-2019 season for the National Collegiate Bowling Coaches Association. So the MVP of the entire season, and was a NCBCA first team All-American once again in 2020 to wrap up her collegiate career for the Fighting Saints. So exciting to see what she's going to do out here on tour. Got her first couple of events underneath her belt earlier this week, competing at the Bowlers Journal Classic and ITRC Classic. And has looked good so far here in the early going of the Arlington Regional. And tripping 4.9s helps too, folks. We like those. Looks like Carrie Smith putting together a nice game over on 9 and 10. Can still get to 279. For Jody Scherer, chance to shoot 280 once again. She had that running through, I want to say 7 frames. Oh, no, that was Sydney, excuse me. But Jody shot she shot a lot. 240. I want to get it right. I believe 246. 248 in game 1. But Sydney striking as well. She had 256. So Jody and Sydney setting the early pace here as we've cruised through these first 2 games. Kobo gets to the pocket, her second shot of the 10th, but unable to get the 10 out. She's going to be in the 240s this game, 245 with the conversion. Abby Ragsdale can get to 256. She's able to put up all 3 in the 10th here. She liked that one. Very nice, very nice. And for Sabina, she's been clean. Had that 4-bagger early on. Been filling frames. She can still get to 232. She'll be up to kick off her 10th frame momentarily. Fania in the books, 245. Stephanie's going to be stepping up to the far left of your screen on lane 5. She can still get to 226 with all 3 in the 10th. Jody Scherer finishes with 269. Sydney Brummett a chance to get to 260. So through two, we're going to have two players potentially better than plus 100. Once again, with the format today, the top four advance to the stepladder finals. That'll be at 9 p.m. Eastern. And that 8-pin snuck up there on Abby once again, but no problem on the spare. Got the first strike in the 10th. Nice 245, so she's going to be plus 63 here in the early going. Sabina breaks up the split there. Could still get to 221. And a great shot by Stephanie to get into the 220s. Sydney did not strike on her first shot, so she's going to be in the 230s. She picked up the spare, left a 10-pin. 239 with a strike on her fill ball. All right, Matt, we are, or have concluded, I should say. We are cruising right along. 2 games in the books already within the first hour of airtime here at the PWBA Arlington Regional. As we get ready for game number 3, we're going to be welcoming in a special guest. She had a fantastic showing at the PWBA Bowlers Journal Classic, just missing the stepladder finals, and will be part of the Hall of Fame Classic to wrap up the weeks here at the ITRC. That'll be Monday and Tuesday, so be sure. We got more bowling coming to you, folks. It's not over after the regional. The Hall of Fame Classic, the final national tour event of the 2021 Kickoff Classic Series. But the 2019 PWBA Rookie of the Year, Valerie Bercier, is going to be joining us here, so let's welcome her into the show.
Hello.
Hey, Valerie, how's it going? I know you got the day off, but you're looking forward to a bunch of games tomorrow. Other than spending some time with us, how do you plan to spend the day and kind of get ready for everything tomorrow?
Well, we had practice session this morning, and then Josh and I came back, and we kind of chilled out for a little bit, ate some lunch, and then I've actually had a couple work calls, before this, and then I have a couple after this, but then I think my evening's pretty free to just chill, although I had the opportunity to chill yesterday, and that was so necessary. Oh my gosh, I was so exhausted, but feeling a lot better today, and definitely gonna prepare for it's 16 games tomorrow, right?
16 indeed, and all round robin match play once again. But you mentioned you got to see the pattern, and from what I had heard prior to the start of the event, that it was going to be a little bit tougher for the Hall of Fame Classic. What were your initial thoughts on the pattern, and is it a little tougher?
I believe it is. And I think I was, I actually texted the pattern to John, my husband, and he goes, "Oh, wow, that looks flat." And I said, yeah, it kind of played that way. And it seemed a lot more challenging. So I'm actually excited because I like to think, or at least kind of rest my head on the fact that I can hit the pocket and make spares. And I like it when they're really, really hard because that and keep the ball in play. It's not just like a strike faster who can get the ball to go through the pins and strike more, which that's its own challenge. And some people are really good at that. So.
All right, now we've had a pretty entertaining couple of days here, right? With everything and the scores, and as you mentioned, some strikes being thrown. But can you kind of describe the week a little bit for the folks who may just be joining us for the first time too? We have the Kickoff Classic Series, so 4 events in one. All of the players have come into town well ahead of the bowling and are spending time together at the hotel and then at the bowling center, and that's it. So a very safe environment, good procedures and protocols in place to keep everybody safe and healthy and to be able to compete. And for the players, there were 2 events so far, 9 games of qualifying for each, and then cut to match play. You had a very successful run. But tell us about just being part of this event, PWBA being back, women's bowling, and then we'll talk more about the regional event and using that for these players as a stepping stone to get to where you are as a successful PWBA standout.
It's been interesting. Prior to coming, I was just hoping and praying so hard that our tests came back negative, Dasha and I, because we were driving down. We had it all planned out. And so we got tested before. Hers came back before mine, and she was negative. And we've been practicing and kind of hanging out in a way together beforehand. So I was like, well, if hers is negative, then I've got a good shot. And then we get here, and we had to test immediately, go up to our rooms, and just essentially quarantine up in our rooms until it came back. And then it was actually I was not expecting the test to come back so quickly. And thankfully they did, because then we got to go over to the ITRC and practice for a little bit, kind of unofficially. And then we had the official practice, and it's been okay. Like, I'm actually thankful that I do have Dasha as my roommate, because I feel like it would be, as much as I work, we haven't seen anybody. And we don't get to go out for dinner and hang out and kind of mingle. So I feel like it'd be pretty lonely. Although, if that's your thing, then people that are alone, they chose to not have a roommate, then, they're probably enjoying their alone time. Other than that, what else do you want to talk about? Bowling?
Well, yeah, bowling wise, you had a great couple of days, and then, some ups and downs and a little bit of heartbreak there too, but perhaps that can serve as motivation for you. Tell us about the first event first, and kind of how that went. Again, a lot of games that maybe some of the players aren't even used to. 9 games and then 12 games of match play. It could be a lot. And then for you, it came down to the very last few frames of that event. But tell us about that and the experience and what you took away from that to be able to continue being successful and still be part of this great event.
Okay, so 9 games first and then 12 games the next day with some practice, sessions and practice warm-up sessions in between. It was a lot. Scores weren't super high, and I thought I bowled pretty well the first 9 games. I think I'd qualified about 7th. And then the first 6 games, I think I won maybe 2 games out of 6. So it wasn't a good, match play standing. And then I think I won, 3 the next day, or the next block. So I, 5 out of 12 games. That doesn't help your score when you don't get all of those bonus pins. So, had I won even one more game, I might have made stepladder, had I made a better decision. So what happened in the last game, and I wasn't watching scores, and maybe I should have, but I didn't know how much ahead I was. And because previously when I had watched scores, I would, put a little bit too much pressure on myself or, try to like force shots. And I just want to just bowl a good game. And of course, every single pair in this house is so different. And that's what I struggled with yesterday was I'd get lined up with one ball on one pair after making a couple adjustments and then go to the next pair and that ball doesn't look the same at all. Or even halfway through the game, I'd have to switch again just to get the ball to go through the pins better. And so that's kind of what happened in the last game where I thought the move was a little bit left and a little softer to get that, 10 out, or I had 4 pinned. So I made a move left and I 2-8-10 and then 7-10. And it wasn't good. It wasn't a good result because if I would have tripped a couple of those, maybe I would have been on the stepladder final. So, right. It happens. I don't believe that I took that into maybe subconsciously a little bit. I don't know, because I didn't really bowl that great in the next, on the next day or, on the next pattern, but it was different. It was a completely different pattern, different look, different angles. So I just felt like I was struggling to match up, like I'd mentioned. Sorry if this is repeating for the people that have watched in the past couple days.
So knowing that there's so much bowling back to back to back and you can't dwell on the things, we talked to Brianna Cote, last night's champion, just about overcoming some of those moments, the ones that aren't so good, and using that to move forward. And for the players bowling right now who are looking to use this as an experience, as a stepping stone perhaps, or to make the jump to the next level, how do you take that moment? Because you were in the number and then out, but then immediately had to turn around and come back and bowl. So how do you turn that negative into a positive and use that information to help you when that situation comes up again, and potentially it could be in the next day or two?
Right. I definitely learned that that's not the move off of, that type of reaction. It's to kind of square up and, get higher on the head pin. My husband keeps telling me that all the time. He was probably like watching and going, Valerie, I've told you this a million times. And sometimes it just takes a little bit longer to sink in. But I would say how I can take it into tomorrow and the next day and like the next 24 games is we've learned a lot of the characteristics of the lanes. So I think what I'm going to do is I have notes on the lanes and then just trust my gut and trust that I know what the move is and then just commit to it. I really do think that we're going to have to make a lot more better quality shots on this next pattern because it is flatter. So I actually I had text another, professional bowler on the male side earlier. And I asked, going into this 24 games of match play where there's bonus pins, what would your suggestion be? And to win matches, right? Because I want those 30 extra pins. And he goes, just make your spares. I was like, perfect. That's great. Coming from you, I will take it.
Definitely great advice for any level of bowling, right? To go out there and spares win championships is what they say. So, and now for these players we're watching right now, again, looking to make the jump potentially to the next level. Some you competed against this week at the ICRC, and some over the years, both collegiately, you bowled with Nebraska, and then internationally with Canada. So you've seen many of these players, if not all of them, in some capacity in other events. Tell us what we're seeing here at the regional. The scores are potentially a little bit higher just because of the pattern again. That always comes into play. But as far as what we're seeing and who we're seeing, any thoughts on some of these players who you competed with and against over the recent years?
I mean, they're good. It's not the 36 players that played. I think any of them had a chance to, or all of them had a chance to make top 24. So it's not even as if like we could say, oh, these people are going to for sure be in the bottom. I think that it was some of the people that are bowling right now could have easily snuck in, and I just snuck in. I know that was a little too close for comfort, in my opinion. I looked at the scores and I was like, ooh, That was not by a long shot. So actually, kind of speaking about that, scores drop, right? So, the top 6, even though they're beating me essentially by a couple hundred at least, maybe even 300 or 400, I don't know, pins. The scores drop and it's just match play. But, going back to the regional, I think that they're all gonna, is it top 5 or what's the step ladder, top 4?
Top 4 after 8. Yep.
After 8. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I feel like they've all got a shot. I haven't checked it's only been 2 games. So, and they're on the monitor there, but I can't see it. But, yeah, I know Sydney shot a really big game the first game. What did she do the second game?
Yeah, we actually have updated standings through 2. So for Sydney, she's gone 256, 239, but
Right.
she's actually sitting in second place. Jody Scherer's at 517 after 2. Sydney at 495. Carrie Smith at 466. And Abby Ragsdale at 463 for their 2 games. First player out, Fania Kobo at 438. So 9 of the 14 players right now, plus or better. So we're definitely seeing some scores out there.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Holy cow. Those are great games to be in second.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We'll see how it breaks down because that's a factor too, or at least it has been in the past couple of days, is just, some people that start off really well, that's what I found. When you start off really well, you've got that angle and then it just breaks down so much that you have to kind of transition in and, you can get a little lost. It's not, it was actually yesterday or the day before, yesterday's pattern was really tricky in transition. I feel like Liz Johnson was an example of that, right? Where she had great ball reaction, shot a million, and then it got tricky for her. Same thing with Missy.
So, Valerie, while we have your attention today, can you offer some advice to up-and-coming players or the ones who would like to come and test things out and bowl in a regional, bowl on the tour? Because before being named PWBA Rookie of the Year, you knew that you were a talented player, obviously, with all you've accomplished, but it was something that you didn't want to jump all the way into necessarily, to go out there, bowl a few events, get a feel for it, see how it goes, and then plan the rest of the season based on that, which is a good strategy, of course. To talk about those decisions, I guess, not easy. You happen to have a job that allows you to be on the road and do that, and some flexibility there. But it is a huge commitment and a big decision to go out. Any advice for the players who maybe are having those same thoughts that you did just a couple of years ago?
Yeah, I was just trying to think of a couple of the things that if I were to give myself advice prior, I would probably say learn the double jump courtesy, or like the pair courtesy before you go, just because it is so different. And that to me gave me some anxiety. Just, knowing when it was my turn, feeling kind of the pressure to be up at a certain time, and then it's a well-oiled machine. Like once your pair gets it and the pairs next to you get it, it flows so well. I wish we would do it in league, but that would be my first advice or piece of advice. And second, it's actually when you have more than just a couple people on your pair, if you leave a spare, you have to wait until, the right and the left lane goes, the person on your pair goes, and then the right and left lane goes again, and then it's your turn. So for me, what I found in the beginning when I was out competing for the first time, I actually had to wait to pick up my plastic ball because it was too much time holding it in between and like waiting. So it was anyway, so if you practice it, that's what I would recommend. And then secondly, I would just say enjoy it. Like, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Of course, if you want to make a cut, you can set that as like an objective goal, but just enjoy the experience. Take a look around, look at, the players that are doing really well, and see where they're playing, see if you can, just learn as much as you can. And if it ends up that you cash, great. But it's actually an investment, I would say. It's an investment into you're going to learn so much bowling in these events with these incredibly talented and very hardworking athletes.
Absolutely. And that's a great selling point as well. So thank you for mentioning that. I think we're going to make a move on pairs here. Carrie Smith has been bowling well. So let's take a look at that. So we'll get that up on the screen momentarily. And Valerie, we talked a little bit about there we go.
Oh, perfect. You got Sydney and Carrie.
And we talked a little bit about when you were on the broadcast a little bit earlier in the week, just, your approach to the 2019 season, about kind of going by the first 4 events and kind of taking it from there on whether or not you would want to continue and bowl the whole season. But, and you had success right out of the gates at the Cleveland stop. But one thing we really didn't talk about was you came back, you bowled the regional, and were the runner-up in that event too. So I'm sure that also played into just kind of looking at the scope of the whole season and wanting to be out here competing every week.
Yeah, it was so interesting. I'm pretty sure I had set some goals to at least make top 12. And I actually looked at it not that long ago, just at the statistics of that event. And I did not bowl well in my first 8 games of that tournament. I just didn't match up. Maybe had a couple too many splits, probably errored, missed a couple single pins or something. And the scores were high. So I was like, wow, if the scores are high, like what are they doing? So I believe we changed surfaces on my Tenacity Grit, I believe it was. So it was kind of like higher end, but it comes out of the box, not super shiny. But we changed surface and I got further right and just kind of got on top of where everybody else was scoring, and I was able to match up really well and then just migrated in and shot some big numbers to at least get me into the cut. And then I think I carried that through the next 6 games, because Dasha and I were actually just talking about how long the formats were last year. We bowled so many games. I took my foam roller. Actually, I took my foam roller, I believe, to Cleveland, and then I forgot it in Minnesota, and that was a huge mistake. I could barely throw the ball in match play in the top, because I ended up making, or no, it wasn't even match play. It was the round of 32. I didn't make match play because I could barely throw the ball. I wasn't striking at all because I couldn't get down. My hip was on fire. So I left a lot of single pins, and I'm I'm not helping myself by, leaving all these spares to make and throwing 2 shots of frame if I'm in all this pain. So then I was like, I have to take my foam roller everywhere with me because it's a savior.
Hey, and you did keep that promise, because you had it in Peru, right, for the Pan Am Games, and you were doing some heavy training at that point. So during that event, you mentioned it, and that's some valuable suitcase space. So it's a huge commitment to all of the things that have to happen off the lanes in order to make the things on the lanes successful.
Yeah, I learned how to pack, socks and, roll up my t-shirts and just kind of jam it into the foam roller, pack around it. Yeah, I had to figure it out because it is vital. And even just now, my back was kind of really, really tight. And so I just rolled on it earlier, right before the call, and it feels so much better. I don't know who came up with that idea, but I hope that they're millionaires at this point.
I think that's an interesting thing that doesn't get enough discussion points is packing for bowling tournaments. You mentioned that you and Dasha drove from Michigan, so you were able to kind of load everything up in the back of the car and go that way. But that's not necessarily as easy when you're flying all across the place, or in that instance, going across the country. What are some of the essentials you have to have outside the foam roller, of course, when going to an event like that? And obviously, with live stream gear, we've learned the same ways to find ways to pack and get things right at 49.5, so we don't have to pay the extra fee. But what are some of the things you have to have on those trips to make sure you're ready to prepare, ready to go each and every week? And specifically for this event, knowing you're going to be here for so long and really not have the ability to go out, what were a few of the things, the must-haves, if you will?
I thought of a whole bunch of things at once. I was going to say laundry detergent. is one of them. We got some, but foam, yeah, for me, foam roller. I have to have my water bottle and I have to have a shaker bottle. It's actually back there on the counter, a shaker bottle to have my, fuelings, my snacks, protein bars type things. And then, obviously like the normal like toiletries, jerseys, you always have to double check that you have your jerseys. And what happened was, the Beast, the company that sponsors me for jerseys, that didn't end up sending me the squirts that go with my jerseys. So I had to, I was a last second thought, like I better pack some just in case maybe they don't fit properly or something. So I packed a couple squirts in that sucks. She was
that was a tough break. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hard break after a split on the left lane too. So I packed, some dress pants because PWBA has dress code rules. Like you can have pockets in your pants and stuff like that. So that, and then, just the normal stuff. I would say I'm not a big pill popper, so I typically have one bottle of Aleve if I really need it. But for me, essential oils, I have a little carrying case of essential oils that I brought. In particular, lavender is a favorite, and citrus bliss. What else? I have my work stuff, like my journal, a planner, computer, obviously, earbuds, huge. Do not go anywhere without my earbuds. We actually got some new ones here. What else? I don't, just tape, right? Like I had a list of things that I wrote out. Actually, I could probably even show you a list. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it quick enough, but it had PWBA. It was like a planning thing, PWBA travel. And it was, I don't know if I'll be able to find it quick enough for you guys, but, oh, there it is. Haha, how about that? I wrote this out.
It's the Kickoff Classic checklist.
Yeah, so I just had, work schedule, bowling balls, accessories, backpack, fuelings, my, snacks. I clean up and resurface my bowling balls, go through my backpack and organize it because I like to hoard stuff. And then fill all my accessories like tape, glue, cleaner, foam roller. And then I brought some exercise equipment too, like our little exercise bands, jump rope. I needed extra towels, soles, grips. And then, I always bring probiotics also. And I brought some supplements like magnesium and tea. I brought some hot tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dasha probably bought
like that.
50. Yeah. She brought like 50 bags of tea. 48 bags of tea.
So with that Dasha sighting, obviously you mentioned you guys were traveling and rooming together. She had a pretty good time yesterday bowling in the step ladder, right? What was it like being able to watch that and then have her come back to the room? Of course, you couldn't be at the facility watching in person, but that'd be pretty special to see her have that opportunity and then to have that conversation when she got home.
Yeah, it was nerve-wracking. I actually had a couple clients and fellow coaches on my team that text me and were like, I was so nervous for you, as if you were like my daughter or my sister, and I felt that same way with Dasha when I was watching. I was like, oh my God, I just want her to do well. And a couple like crappy breaks, right? Same thing. And then Jillian, it's hard not to root for her. So I was absolutely rooting for her, and it's just incredible. I think I wrote in the chat yesterday, like, when I grow up, I want to bowl like her, because she's a beast. I was mind blown. 16 years old. That's just incredible.
It certainly was something else. Taking a look at the standings here, or scores here, Carrie Smith finishes with 245. Looks like 235 for Sydney, and Jody is rolling once again. She can get. Let's see, she's got 238 out there. Summers 190. So we got some scores, but Jody's going to be. She strikes out right around 750 for her first three. So that's going to be an impressive start to the regional.
That is a great start. I wonder what she's throwing. Oh, look at that strike. No, that's great. That was like really good. No wonder why she's got 750 on the border almost anyway.
And a fun fact for you, Valerie, you and Jody have something in common.
We do.
You are both past PWBA Rookies of the Year.
Oh, I love that. That's so great. We don't share when I was announced that last season at the very end when they announced a couple of the other rookies, I just got, oh my gosh, I just got goosebumps all over when I was thinking like there's not a lot of people that have that.
Yeah, Jody was Jody Ellis back in 1998, coming from South Africa to compete on the PWBA tour. Still looking for that first win, though. Did not collect a win during her first run on the tour, but back at it here in 2021 and off to a great start.
Yeah, she might get it. Oh no, oops. I've totally done that before. What Summer just did.
Yeah, Summer has definitely a fan favorite on Bull TV, but having some struggles here today. She was a little bit farther back in the pack after the first two, but Jody's going to be in the 230s. Sydney's been super steady. She's going to be 730s, so she's right in the mix. And for Carrie, she's going to be at, looks like 711 now. So three players who have been bowling extremely well here in the early going of the regional. 37-foot pattern for this one. As I mentioned, a little bit softer on the ratio, about 5-1. So we expected to see a few more strikes, and we got a few players delivering.
Yeah. I always look at the different ways that you can shoot 230, and you may go like spare strike and think, this game's not going that well, but then you catch a double, a couple spares, and then you end the game with 230. Yeah.
Just like that.
Or you can do it the hard way, like Carrie just did, like front six open. Gosh, that's so hard.
And the stuff 8 in there, all that good stuff. But
oh yeah, right. I mean, yeah, don't catch a good break.
But Valerie, it's up to you if you want to stay with us for game number 4. If you got, I know you're always busy with clients as well. If you have a client to go chat with, we certainly understand that too.
Well, I have until about 3:45, so I can stay for another 25 minutes. That's fine.
All right, cool. We'll head over to game 4 then. So we'll be back in just a moment with Valerie Bercier at the PWBA Arlington Regional. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back in a second, folks. Game 4 coming up next here on Bull TV. All right, everybody, we do have an update on scores after game number 3. Jody Scherer continues to lead 248, 269, 238 for 755 out of the gates. Sydney Brummett in second with 730. Carrie Smith at 711. And then a bit of separation down to fourth place. Abby Ragsdale at 647, currently 20 pins ahead of Allie Tatro, who's at 627. Jackie Evans at 614. Elise Bolton, 609. Fania Cobo, 607, Tina Williams, 592, and Sabina Brown at 565. Your current top 10 here at the PWBA Arlington Regional. With the shorter pattern, we've seen some players taking a look at the outside portion of the lane, and unfortunately have seen a couple of them fall into the channel, just like that for Carrie Smith. But she has been striking a bunch, so wouldn't be surprised to see her pick this up and continue on here. My name is Aaron Smith with Bull TV. I'm joined by Matt Cannizzaro. And for game number 4 here, we also have Valerie Bercier joining us. We'll bring everybody back onto the screen in just a moment here, and it looks like Valerie may be joined at the moment by a special guest as well. It looks like we have Dasha joining as well now. So Dasha Kovalova, welcome back to Bull TV.
It's a wild Dasha spotted.
Wild Dasha.
Yeah, I got brought in from my couch.
You guys are... it looks like sharing the same headset, so that's efficient. So I like that. So nicely done. And Dasha, we got to talk with you yesterday. Excellent performance throughout the course to make it there to a third place finish at the ITRC Classic. But now you got a day to get ready for the Hall of Fame Classic. For you, what are you? How are you going to prepare today, other than watching us on Bull TV and hanging out with Valerie?
I'm gonna make sure I don't hurt, because I did hurt yesterday, and sometimes my shots just went because I couldn't really post them. So I'm gonna put some, is it tense unit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, tense unit on my body parts and pray to God that it works. Yep.
All right, there we go.
Well, if there's anybody you want to be rooming with to help with the aches and pains and staying in shape and ready to bowl, you certainly picked the right person.
Definitely. I learned a lot, honestly. I learned a lot of rooming with Valerie this week. Like, I think I can go ahead and start my dietitian career right now. I just learned so much.
She's probably good. She'd get straight A's.
Yeah, I'll get straight A's, and then I'll kick her out of her business, and she'll be like, wow, thanks.
Thanks. me to take over.
So, and for those who don't know, Valerie is a registered dietitian, right? So her real job and what she does in between blocks and games, even, who knows, is helping others, not just bowlers, but others just find a healthy path in life, really, and to work the food and nutrition part into everyday life and turning habits into lifestyles, right? And really expanding on going from the concept of just a diet to your diet and your lifestyle, and being able to carry that over into all aspects of life. So for us and many of the bowlers, the travel world and some of the challenges that we see with long work days and the inconveniences and the tempting conveniences of what might be on the way home and things like that. So really the PWBA players and all bowlers are athletes, and you have to treat yourself and your body and your time like you are an athlete training for a sport. It is tough. Bowling 3 games of league, 9 games of an event. It is tough on the body, and you feel it. As Dasha said, there's aches and pains, and Valerie mentioned the foam roller and all the stretches and things that the players do to be at their top level. And when those things don't go right, as Valerie described, you can't have that leverage at the line. You can't have the flexibility and the spare shooting and all the things that you need to succeed. So, and Valerie, I know you help a lot of people, many outside of bowling, but if you had to pick a number on the people that you're able to reach, both in and out of the industry, and maybe because of how you do what you do and what you do, you're able to really have a huge reach. Maybe it's just because 80% of the people in my social media are bowlers, and that's what it looks like. But you're helping a ton of people and doing some great things.
I would it's so cute. I love that. I'd say it's a couple hundred at this point. Not consistently or weekly by any means. It's a significant amount weekly, but it's been a lot. And the thing that I love the most is that when they come to me, they think that they're going to go on another diet. But it's not. What they come to realize is that it turns into a lifestyle, and they're not going to be able to go back to some of those old habits or those old coping mechanisms that they used to have. And a lot of it is tied to stress and stress management. So a lot of people choose food as a stress coping tool, or they just eat because they have to and not necessarily to fuel their body. So once they start to feel better than they did, then they're like, oh, well, what's the difference between what I'm eating now and what I was eating? So then they're more open to kind of investigating what they're putting in their bodies. You are what you eat. I feel like everybody knows that saying, and it's so true on such a cellular level. What we eat actually becomes a part of us. And I think, to me, I don't even, I study this stuff and I don't even want to think about that. But if you really think about it, that can gross you out, right?
So I need to take notes.
So right now, Aaron's thinking, do I look like a chicken wing or do I not?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Exactly. Anyway, when they really do, really, okay, so just back to the whole diet thing. It's not a diet. And if you do end up going on a diet, just try really hard, because you don't have to come to me and do one of our programs. But if you do embark on a diet, really try to make sure that it fits into a lifestyle and that you have a plan outside of the weight loss phase, or, beyond the weight loss phase, I should say.
And it certainly helps that you have a perfect testimonial right next to you, right, to all the success and the progress Dasha has made since 2019, and in her work and off the lanes especially. There you go. So get her as a testimonial for you, and keep up the good work, both of you.
I would love to say that I could take credit for that, but aside from making some healthy, what we call lean and green meals, so lean protein and veggies, once a week. And then maybe just by osmosis, she's done it all on her own. She started working out, during quarantine, and walking her dog all the time, right?
I angry walk a lot, yeah.
She's coping with stress in a different way, in a healthier way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just, so what else? Talk about that. What else to kind of fuel your body better?
Oh boy. I just I walked a lot, and I just kind of ate less, and I tried to be more mindful with what I eat. And in Michigan, it's really easy to walk around because it's not boring. It's really pretty. So I just walked around, looked at the deer,
And the beaches.
yeah. And I got some weights at home, which I would do like every day. I walk every day, and I work out almost every day. Like, it's not a lot, but it's because of it's every day. It kind of helped me to get to the same thing as I was working out like twice a week, but a lot.
Consistency is huge, and she's like the epitome of consistency. She has like this bedtime routine every single night, and it's incredible to
Don't
watch.
expose me. They think I'm irresponsible. Just keep it that way.
She's very responsible. She has, I'm not even kidding, same bedtime routine. She's very diligent about, the TENS unit and just taking care of herself.
Now, Dasha,
Heard it first. Responsible adult.
She always remembers our room key when we leave the room.
it's very important to have that person in the when you're in that situation. You gotta have one person who's going to be responsible, right?
Absolutely.
That was supposed to be her.
I drove. All right, we took my car. That's it. I didn't even. We split the whole drive. Yeah, no, it's been really good. I feel like sometimes we don't want to be adults. We're all just big kids living in adult bodies, trying to be responsible.
I'm 5 years old.
Dasha, now I'm curious because this is the second time you mentioned angry walk. What? How's an angry walk different from a regular walk? Does it just involve walking angry, or are there other aspects to it?
Okay, it's very important to know. Like, angry walk, basically, I put my headphones in, put my volume up, and I blast some angry hard rock metal music. No, I just walk fast.
There we go.
She's
Okay.
I look like I'm a woman who knows what she's doing. In reality, I don't. But I look important, and that's how angry walk works. Just kind of and walk. Yeah.
That's so different than Matt and I this week. So we're trying to look like we know what we're doing, but most of the time we're just flying by the seat of our pants. So.
Hey. Are you guys wearing pants right now?
Yes.
No.
I can confirm that for myself. I'll let Matt answer that though.
They are technically, they classify as pants. I might be dressed like a news anchor up top, maybe a gym teacher down below, but they're technically pants. So yes, the answer is yes.
Okay.
Business on the top,
Party
down below.
somewhere else.
Oh gosh. She cracks me up.
All
She's
right.
taking place with my husband this week. I usually laugh really hard with him. Well, okay, not in that way, honey. She's so funny.
Now, Dasha, let's talk a little bowling here. We got the Hall of Fame Classic coming up on Monday and Tuesday. You're going to be part of that event along with Valerie. We asked Valerie a little bit about the pattern today. We had the practice session. What were some of your thoughts? What was working out there? And what kind of scoring pace do you expect to see compared to what we saw the first two events?
Well, for the first 20 minutes of practice, I didn't strike. So I said, oh my God. Then I looked around, everybody was striking. Then I said, oh my God. And then I struck finally, and it was not even a Brooklyn strike. It was a genuine good pocket strike. And I said, okay, I feel better now. So I think for this week, well, it's next week, right? For next week, we probably would have to be more upfront with our target, not giving it away too much because it's not going to come back. During today's practice, I took a 6-spin off a full rack, and that's it. It was great. My people around me loved it. I didn't. So
wait, you got one?
I got one. I was very.
How did you do that?
I don't know. I was like, all right, maybe if I give it away a little bit, it will come back. I said, whoop, but I said, no, honey, no.
Wait, you didn't get the 9-pin? You just got the 6-pin?
I just got the 6-spin. I'm very talented.
How did you do that? I saw a couple people. Sandra got 2. She got the 6-9.
I got 1.
Yeah. Wow.
Hey,
And then she started striking. Yeah.
Yep.
Dasha, the way I see it, there's only a handful of people in the world who can do that. So, and you're one of them. So,
Magic. fingers, I guess.
Magic.
I don't know. Also, I think we probably will use more surfaces than we've seen before because we need to make sure the ball reaction is stable. Like a lot of asymmetric bowling balls that worked for me in the last tournament did not work for me today. They just were super unpredictable when they're going to hook and how much they're going to hook. So I feel like symmetric, something mild that will keep you in the pocket and keep you out of trouble would probably be good. That's my guess. And I think the scoring pace will be a little bit lower than in the previous tournament, just a bit. But it also depends on how we all will break down the lanes. Since it's going to be 4 of us on the pair, and we're going to bowl 8 games. And it's also going to be added pressure of match play on top of that. Like usually if you bowl 8 games, it's hard, but match play and like striving to win is going to add a whole another layer on that layer. It's going to be a pain sandwich.
When I grow up, I want to be able to answer questions like Dasha. Holy cow, that was great. I just learned a lot. I should be taking this.
Sometimes I try, okay? I'm sweaty right now. It was hard.
Yeah, no, that was a really good point. I was thinking back to what I threw, and I was like, wow, symmetrics actually did roll a lot better. Yeah.
Where does the pain sandwich fit into the nutrition plan?
Right in between angry walking and fueling. Pain sandwich.
Nice.
Oh
There we go.
Great question, Matt.
I'm gonna get banned from the show at some point if you.
She was nervous to come on. She's like, they didn't ask me, and I was like, dude, everybody wants to hear you talk.
I just insert myself everywhere.
We can't even. Sometimes, when I'm watching, I can see the comments. I can't even see the comments of anybody yet, or anybody.
I think it's because you're on StreamYard. You're not actually on Bowl TV.
Well, sometimes we can see the comments.
Okay. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's like when we're on the podcasts for the PWBA or Bowling Explained. We can't see the Facebook and the YouTube comments. But right now, since we're exclusively on bowltv.com, we only have the questions in that chat. We actually do have one for you in the chat, Valerie. Someone asked a very specific question.
I think I know what it is.
Let me bring it up here. It comes from Nick. He has a big Brunswick logo as his avatar, so I think I know who it might be. But he wanted to know, in Valerie's opinion, who is the better Bercier?
It's me, guys. It's me. I'm the better Bercier of them all.
She comes over for dinner sometimes, and if John and I are like arguing, she's like, "Mom and Dad,
Stop it!"
She's so funny. The better Bercier, I don't know, man. John is so good when he absolutely strikes more than I do. There's no doubt about it. I think that we actually haven't really bowled against each other in a while, but I think it's a toss-up.
His dad.
Who does he think it is? Yeah, maybe his dad's the better Bercier of us all.
The OG.
The OG.
He is the OG.
We'll have to wait for Nick to respond there in the chat, but the Bowl TV chat, definitely a fun place to be throughout the course of the block. We've been getting a lot of great folks stopping by, so we appreciate all the comments. And we're getting close to wrapping up game number 4 here. Following Jody Scherer, 212. She's been steady, but potentially Sydney Brummett a chance to take over the lead. Sid the Kid can get to 235. Sid the Kid. Isn't that what you called her at Wichita State, Dasha?
No. It was Sydney the Kidney. Okay, you have to say the full name.
The full name version. All right, I'm getting too succinct here. So I the full name. Wow, that just came up. Come on, Dasha, you're too good at this.
Yeah, she's really good. She should have her own podcast.
Don't give them weird.
I agree. Dasha, Jason Thomas will be sending you an email very soon. So
yeah,
hit me up.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So what is that? 2-6. Yeah, another 230. That's great.
Get it, girl.
So it was a 25 pin difference between Jody and Sydney for the top spot. So Not going to quite make all it up, but it's going to be fairly close between them heading into the back half of the block. They've been kind of running away with it here on this 37-foot condition. It almost looks like Sydney's using urethane, just based off the ball reaction we've been seeing. I can't say we've seen too much of that out there just over the course of the week in general, but we're way back here in some other place that's not the ITRC, so you guys could speak to that a little bit more. I don't think there's been much of a call for urethane outside of, I believe on the left side, Angie Ramirez-Perea was using it a bit, but don't think too many righties were seeing urethane as an option so far this week.
Josh and I personally don't throw urethane.
I'm afraid of that urethane stuff.
Yeah, I think I've only ever had one urethane in my bag, and I think I was afraid to use it because I didn't actually know like how to use it.
I think
Yeah, we might be unique.
To be fair, I don't have one either. But I was just asking Matt about urethane because he's left-handed, so he knows all about it. So.
Oh, Matt, you could tell us all about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice to have an option, right? And to go out there, especially for many on the shorter patterns, or for Angie, as we saw this week, she's able to play a part of a lane where she needed that kind of milder reaction, and she was going from one fresh pair to the next. So it's a nice tool to have in your bag for sure. But you see it's less prevalent, I think, on the ladies tour maybe than on the PWBA tour and then some other events where there might be. It really depends, I think, on the patterns and what you're seeing out there too. And so, but more for the guys, I think, than we do see on the ladies tour. Maybe it's the rev right situation, or just general feelings. I don't know. Any thoughts on that? Of course, I think it makes sense, but you guys are the superstars. I just write stories about you.
I would agree. Guys use it a lot more. I don't even know like what their threshold for using urethane is. What is it, like 37, 38 feet or something?
I don't think there's a threshold when it comes to guys. They just use it on everything. If it works, they're gonna use it on everything.
I mean, if you ask Darren Tang, it's good on every single pattern. Jacob Butchev, really the goal is to knock down all 10 pins, and how you do it shouldn't matter. As long as you're within the rules and whatever it takes. Your goal is to have one more pin knocked over than the next guy, or that's it. So whatever tools you need, make it happen. Everybody's got their tricks and their moves, and just get it done. That's the number one thing at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's an option. That's for sure.
Another option is fair ball at 15. Never fails.
Oh yeah, it doesn't. 8, 10, or
Honestly,
5, 7, 10.
No, I actually did that before. There was one time where I came to practice and there was nothing on the lane. And I was like, all right, it's fair ball at 15. Here I go. It hooked. It was wonderful.
It's all about versatility, right? That's all you need. Versatility and have a few tricks, whether it's hand position or different options, and you go out there and get it done.
Get it done. Like
it. Like you said, Matt, you guys gotta be one pin ahead to win.
All right, Valerie, I know you said 3:45 was kind of your cutoff time here, so I know that's coming up in a few minutes. But we just want to thank you and the guest appearance from Dasha as well. A treat for Bowl TV fans as always. So we appreciate you stopping by, and we can't wait to see you both on the lanes tomorrow at the Hall of Fame Classic.
Likewise, thank you. Thanks for the time. We'll see you guys soon.
Yeah, bye.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Well, that was fun, Matthew, wasn't it?
Of course, always entertaining. At some point, they're going to ask us, not they specifically, but somebody will ask, hey, why don't you guys just bring in the guests and disappear, right? And just turn it over to the players, a free-for-all. And the ratings, I have no doubt, would go through the roof. Just based on the fact that they're way more entertaining, much nicer to talk to, and their social media reach is pretty significant as well, right? They have a ton of fans out there. We should try just one block. We'll give it a shot. Just let the PWBA take over, and you know what? If it works out, well, it might mean we're out of a job, but let's see for entertainment value. Let's give it a shot and see how it goes.
I certainly think there could be some value in that. So you never know down the stretch. But right now we're heading into game number 5. We are cruising along here at the PWBA Arlington Regional. Let's head over to 5 and 6, get some new folks on the screen. We've kind of we've seen Jody and Sydney strike a bunch here. Let's get some new folks up here as we get to the back half of the block. So we'll have Tina Williams and Jackie Evans on lanes 5 and 6, and Elise Bolton and Brittany Brown joining on 7 and 8. All players with some great collegiate bowling experience and success. Tina over at West Texas A&M, a standout, and now a USBC board member as well, and past success with Team USA. Jackie Evans, a past junior gold champion back in 2015, now an assistant coach at Fairleigh Dickinson University. Elise Bolton had a great collegiate career at Nebraska. Also, a lot of junior team USA success for her. And as we mentioned, a PWBA regional champion, winning the Greater Cleveland Regional to kick off the 2019 season. And Brittany Brown, part of the 2019 ITC champion at Robert Morris, Illinois. So we got some great players here for game number 5. So everybody hang tight, and we'll be right back here on Bowl TV for the PWBA Regional. All right, everybody, we are cruising into Game 5 here at the PWBA Arlington Regional, taking place at the ITRC in Arlington, Texas. My name's Aaron Smith, alongside Matt Cannizzaro. There we are, doing our thing, checking out some great regional bowling action. We're going to bring in from Brunswick Chuck Gardner to get an update on Jody Scherer. Hey, Chuck.
Good afternoon, guys. Looking good as always.
We try to be dapper when we can, so
It's certainly working.
But Chuck, Jody's been bowling great today throughout the course of the block. 750 right out of the gates, a bunch of strikes. What's been working for her on this 37-foot condition? Well,
I think one of the really great things that's working for her is she's on the pair with probably one of the most accomplished bowler in this tournament. She's crossing with Sydney Brummett, and unlike on the men's tour, when the guys kind of complain a little bit about urethane going down the lane, Sydney's urethane is actually helping her. It's getting her a little hold in front of the pocket, and she is just getting her break point just right of where Sydney's is, and using her push as a little hold. And she's using a Brunswick knockout, nothing fancy, just a symmetrical, nice round shaping ball, and she's had an unbelievable look on every pair, and she's just kind of staying right there where Sydney is, and paying attention. And Jody's a really good bowler. She was a PWBA Rookie of the Year in 1997, I believe.
98, yep.
98. Mm-hmm. So, she's a very accomplished bowler, just hasn't bowled competitively, except for locally around the Florida area in the last many, many years. So, she had a lot of nerves coming into this week, and I don't think she performed as well as she could have. But I'm really, really proud of her. She got a check in the last event. She worked really hard and got a check, and now she's leading this event. So pretty cool.
It's been very fun to watch. We've been keeping an eye on her and Sydney throughout the course of the day as they battle for that top spot. Chuck, a little bit earlier today for the Hall of Fame Classic, the players had their practice session. Brand new pattern, and from early reports, going to be potentially a little bit tougher than what we've seen the first two events.
Oh yeah, but the nice thing about it is it's a typical Nick Hoagland kind of pattern. I think there's more than one angle. I think you're going to be able to attack it from the right and kind of try and play a little shim around 7 or 8, and then if you get in, you better not get it to 7 or 8. So it's it seems like old school strips almost is how the pattern played. And it was fun to watch, and it was fun to watch some of the girls that, earlier in the week, the patterns have been soft for PWBA standards, for sure. Usually they bowl in really demanding conditions, and they've been a little softer for them. And so the spray bomb, they're getting it to the right. We watched a few airmails of good part of the practice session, so it was interesting.
Gotcha. Yeah, Dasha had mentioned that on one shot with a full rack, she actually only took out the 6-pin, which I'm still trying to figure out how that happened. But okay, well, that'll be something we'll look out for throughout the course of that opening round of match play tomorrow morning.
I think the scores will be down a little bit, and I think it's going to be really crucial to be clutch and in the 10th, even if you're bowling 180, and if you get a chance to double to win your match, figuring out a way to double to win your match. I think the girls starting at 0, everybody's tied for the lead, so we'll just see what happens.
All right, Chuck. Well, we'll let you get back to it, but as always, thank you for joining us on Bowl TV and giving us some great info.
My pleasure.
All right, Matt, there we go. Some great insight, courtesy of Chuck Gardner on some of the go ahead.
I was going to say again, as we talked about earlier, I was hoping we'd have a chance to catch up with Jody a little bit more this week and hear what she's been up to and some of the direction that her life has taken her since the PWBA tour. But perhaps this is a new beginning for her. So maybe we'll see her down the road. Season kicking back off in April, of course, and back to traveling around the country a little bit. So perhaps an opportunity to have her on the podcast at some point if she is planning to continue on with us in 2021 and just hear a little bit more about life back then and now and the differences in being back and or as we talked about, there's still plenty of time today for her to finish the day in the spotlight, right? So interview opportunities there, and one guarantee is just to win the whole thing.
That's an excellent point. And right now, as we look at the standings through Game 4, she still holds on to the lead, just 2 pins now, though, ahead of Sydney Brummett. But she's at plus 167. Sydney's at plus 130 or 165. Carrie Smith at plus 101, and then some separation. 60 pins down to Elise Bolton, who had 232 last game, to move into the top 4. Ali Tatro, the first player out, 9 pins back at plus 32. Fania Kobo at plus 23. Abby Ragsdale plus 17, and Jacqueline Evans at plus 5. So, yeah, for Jody, kind of looking at these last 8 games, I thought it was interesting what Chuck said about, using Sydney's your thing to her advantage. Sydney's able to kind of stay in the same part of the lane, control the break point, and has been putting up a lot of strikes too. And, it's always nice to have a friend out there helping you out on the lanes when you can. And it seems like a good combination, and they've been making it work.
Well, it's all about teamwork, right? And even though it's an individual event, those players bowling with the same brands do work together at times, and sometimes it works out. Again, with the ball reps, they can help each other and help the players play to their strengths, and for the good of the brand. At the end of the day, I think for them especially, as long as one of their brands is the one holding the trophy, they've succeeded, and they'll do their best to help everyone succeed. And each person being a different style and a different mindset, of course, being able to figure out what works for each one and how they can work off each other to find the most success for the brand overall.
All right, folks, we're going to settle in here to game number 5. All right, towards the back half of the game. Taking a look at Brittany Brown. As I mentioned, a great collegiate career at Robert Morris, Illinois, and as we've seen her quite a few times at some of the majors. Has had some success at the Queens. Has made, I believe, the bracket twice now over the past few years. Still, but what I was going to say is, but she's coming out on the PWBA tour this year as is a member this particular season. So hopefully we get to see her at a couple more stops and get to see her progression as a rookie here this season. Jackie Evans is going to be going up for her fill ball right now. Chance to get to 225. We talked a little bit about the Cleveland event with Valerie. That was the kickoff event of the 2019 season. Jackie put together a nice performance at that tournament to kind of kick off her career on the PWBA tour. So we are excited to see her out there as well, in hopes of putting up a few more performances just like that. 224 in the books for Tina Williams. Opportunity to get to 228. She's working on a double, stepping up for her first shot of the 10th. Elise Bolton with 2 in a row, looking to make it 3 in her 9th frame. As Tina knocks all 10 back. And a great shot from Elise. We mentioned it a little bit earlier in the week, taking on a new role into the college bowling coaching world, if you will. Quite a few PWBA players are involved with programs. So Elise helping over at Life University in Marietta, Georgia. I still think that's one of my favorite names for a college of all time, Life University.
I say we're all pretty familiar with the School of Life, right? But the fact that there actually is one now makes me want to go back and get a master's degree, perhaps. Well, I don't want to think in broadcasting, but perhaps something else. Sounds like a lot of fun.
Taking a look at some scores around the house, Sydney Brummett is going to move into the overall lead. She just shot 248. Some spare miscues for Jody Scherer, but she's thrown some late strikes, has a chance to get to 202. But we're going to see Sydney swing into the top spot. Looked like Fania Kobo just went 225. She was outside of the top 4, so she's going to inch a little bit closer to a potential stepladder final appearance. Tina did deliver that double. She's going to be in the 220s. And 227 for our USBC board member competing this week. Brittany with a spare, an opportunity to get to 204. And 223 out there for Elise Bolton. Once again, moved into the 4th spot. And that is the cutoff number for bonus bowling for the stepladder finals this evening at 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on BullTV.com. You will need a subscription to watch it, so we certainly hope you good folks take advantage of that opportunity. We'll be, let's see, I got my paper here somewhere. We're giving away something cool. Got to make sure I get the name and the model correct for this. An Atari Flashback 9 Gold will be given away during the finals of the Arlington Regional. So we got that to look forward to. We have a giveaway a little bit later this round as well. Stay tuned for that. As Elise makes it 4 in a row. Brittany Brown in the books at 204. But for that stepladder finals, we got a few options for you to pick from to subscribe. If you want access to the entire BullTV.com platform for archived events and on-demand channels, along with all the great live coverage throughout the course of 2021 and beyond, you can look at either an annual or monthly recurring subscription for $79.95 or $9.95, depending on which works best for you. Or if you just want to watch the finals of this event, you got someone you want to see compete for the title at the PWBA Arlington Regional, you can do that as well. An event pass for this event, $4.95. Elise takes 3. She will finish at 208. To wrap things up here in game number 5, let's take a look around the house, see if we got potentially some other folks finishing up, or if we're pretty close to being all set. We still got a few shots up on 1 through 4. Let's head over there. And a bonus look at Nathan Bohr. Ball repping this week for Motive, and arguably the tallest person inside the ITRC right now, often getting into our camera shots just like that. Carrie Smith, who was sitting in 3rd place, 196. So she's going to drop below plus 100 to plus 97. For Summer Jasmine, one of our Bull TV favorites. Chance to finish it up with 191. She's going to need some strikes these last few games to make a run to the top 4. It's going to be 187 for Summer as we prepare for Game 6. Absolutely flying through this 8-game block so far. Just a little over 2 hours into the action. And we're already down to the final 3 games. I suppose that'll happen with 2 on a pair, but we are cruising here on Bull TV. Of course, the Kickoff Classic Series, we still have the Hall of Fame Classic left to go, the final national tour stop of this amazing 7-day event at the International Training and Research Center in Arlington, Texas. It'll be taking place Monday and Tuesday. You heard Valerie talking about it a little bit earlier. She joined the show. 8 games of match play. Everyone's starting from scratch, 0. So whether you're the top qualifier or the last person in, essentially everybody's starting even. 24 games over 2 days, 3 8-game rounds of match play, round robin style. So you get to bowl everyone in the field at least once, then the position round to wrap things up before the top 5 make it to the stepladder finals on Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on Bull TV. That once again the match play rounds. You'll be able to watch just like this with the login. So for everybody who's tuned in right now, you're all set for all 3 rounds of match play. Just head on over to Bull TV. It's going to be Monday, so like you really don't want to work on Monday. You just had a couple of days off. Been having a good time, probably watching some football, some PBA bowling. It's all going on right now, along with this great action from the PWBA. So you can knock out a few emails early in the morning. We're not starting until 11 a.m. Eastern tomorrow, so you got some time to do some work, and then it's almost lunchtime at that point too. So you're probably going to just take it easy for a little bit. So just head on over, join us on Bull TV. We won't tell your boss you're watching. In fact, you can tell your boss. Check it out too. They just got to set it up with an email address. It'll be fun. You'll get everybody here. It'll be like an office party going on. So be sure to look forward to that coming up in the next 2 days. PWBA Hall of Fame Classic Top 24 already set. You can see all that information and more on pwba.com. Okay, everybody, we do have a score update now available after game number 5, and as expected, Sydney Brummett has now jumped into the lead. She's at plus 213 for 5 games, averaging better than 242 so far on today's 37-foot condition. Jody Scher falls to second place. She's at plus 168. Carrie Smith at plus 97. Hanging on to third. She's got some room between fourth place now. Elise Bolton hangs on with that 208. We saw her wrap up in game number 5. She's at plus 49, but Fania Kobo with 225 last game. Now just one pin behind for the top 4. She's at plus 48. Jacqueline Evans at plus 29. And Tina Williams after that nice 227 at plus 13. Those are your players plus at the moment. Going a little bit farther down the standings, Allie Tatro at minus 13, Abby Ragsdale at minus 29, and Stephanie Martins at minus 65, rounding out your top 10. Got word that we talked about regional standouts since the kind of transformation of the regional tour in 2019. One of those players being Julia Bond, and just got to note that it sounds like Julia's going to be joining the show here in a couple minutes. So we'll be excited to have her join us here, a 3-time regional champion. She also won the Go Bowling Regional Showdown, a special made for TV event for regional competitors back in 2019. And of course, a collegiate standout at Nebraska and a longtime member now, Junior Team USA first and Team USA. Has been a staple of the team for a couple of years. So looking forward to chatting with Julia. We had a great conversation with her a couple of months ago on the PWBA podcast. If you want to check that out, you can do so by heading over to our free content page. We have all of our podcasts available, so you can get to learn a little bit more about what Bowl TV has to offer. Of course, on PWBA.com, we have a whole page dedicated to all the podcasts. You can find them on YouTube, Facebook, all those great spots. It was a fun conversation, and we're looking forward to another one here shortly. We mentioned that Elise Bolton and Fania Kobo currently fighting for that last spot. Elise off to a strong start this game, so let's head over to 9 and 10 to take a quick look as they're about halfway through that game. So there we are, folks. Just for a moment, though, not too long. Getting back to the action. So Elise has started with a spare and followed by a 4-bagger, looking to make it five in a row now in the 6th frame. Brittany Brown also joining on 9 and 10. She's got 4 out of the first 5 and just unable to dig the 10-pin out. All right, Bull TV fans, our special guest has made her way to our virtual broadcast room. Let's call it that, virtual broadcast room, although we're all in 3 different spots. Technology, good stuff. We like it. So we're going to be joined once again here by 3-time PWBA regional champion, standout at Nebraska, Team USA member. She's done it all. Julia Bond. So, hello, Julia.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us. We definitely appreciate it. When we mentioned PWBA regional, I saw someone jumping in the background there. I'm not sure who your roommate is this week, so I don't know who that was.
It's Ashley Galante.
Ashley, okay. Well, hello to Ashley as well. When we kind of talk about the new look of the regional tour, you have been the premier player so far, going 3 for 3, 3 victories, and on top of that, the regional showdown. So you found a ton of success in these events, and it's been, we're trying to kind of bring in regionals in as a way for players to kind of get acclimated to the tour. And for you, you've certainly had success, and that success has led to success on the national tour. You had a great showing yesterday at the ITRC Classic. What are some things players can take away from regional events like this, who may be looking to take the next step to the national?
So really quick, I hear some feedback on my end.
Okay.
And I'm not sure what I have to do to fix that. Like, I heard your question, but I hear our previous conversation.
Do you have headphones?
Yeah, I have the earbuds that were provided for us.
All right. If those are plugged in, we shouldn't be getting the feedback, but I don't hear it on my end, but obviously we're in different spots, so that makes it tough.
Okay. Let me try plugging them, like taking them out and then putting them in really quick.
All right, Julia, give us a thumbs up when you're ready. We'll bring you back on. We'll get set for Julia coming back in just a moment here. As Julia works on getting the sound right for joining the broadcast, we'll take a quick look around the ITRC. Once again, we're behind lanes 9 and 10 right now. That will be the stepladder finals a little bit later. Elise Bolton holding on to the final spot currently in the stepladder finals. She's at plus 49. Can get to 247 this game. Some of the other players in the mix. Carrie Smith at plus 97, currently in third. She's on a 2-0 pace this game. Some struggles for Sydney Brummett. We mentioned her averaging better than 242. She's had 3 consecutive opens, but can still get to 215 this game if she's able to strike out from the 8th on. Jody Scher, chance at 236 this game, but on a 2-0 pace in second place. Jacqueline Evans, who was at plus 29, putting together a huge game. Chance to shoot 280. And as we take a look, it looks like Julia is good to go again, so we'll bring her back into the Bull TV studio. Take 2, Julia.
All right, sorry about that. I had the stream already in the background, so I was hearing you guys, but then hearing the stream. I had to close everything out, so I'm sorry about that. My apologies.
No worries. Thanks for watching Bull TV. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
But to get back to my extremely long question, you've been great at regionals. and we've seen that success on the national level as well. What can players take away from a regional event? It's one day, it's 8 games. You kind of get to get your feet wet on the tougher patterns, but not crazy tough sometimes. But what's the thing a player who might be on the edge of wanting to try a PWBA event? What would you say to them to push them over to give it a shot?
Well, I think what you said pretty much fits the bill as far as getting their feet wet, and something that our tournament director, Tennille Milligan, she says it all the time, is that it's kind of your opportunity to, I really like what you said, get your feet wet. Like, you're not quite jumping in with the sharks yet, but you're dipping your toes. And so it pretty much follows the same format that we do. And so you really get a good feel for the experience, and the timing and the flow of everything, and just the pressure situation that's going on. And so, I mean, why not do it? Even if you're nervous or scared, like, it's such a great opportunity to bowl against a lot of local talent and other people coming in. So if you're on that bubble and you're unsure about doing it, just go for it. Like, what's the worst that's going to happen? If at the very least, you're going to have a great time with a bunch of talented ladies. So why not do it?
An excellent endorsement pitch. We like it. So thank you for that, Julia. But, we mentioned the ITRC Classic. You made a great run, finishing a few spots short of the stepladder. You'll be part of the Hall of Fame Classic coming up the next 2 days. How would you rate your performance so far throughout the first 2 events?
I would say pretty good. For everything that's going on and not being able to quite practice as much as we all like, I'm pretty pleased. There's a lot of patience. I think some people are a little rusty, whether it be physical or emotionally or mentally. And so given all the things that are going on, I would say I'm pretty pleased with the way I performed. The first day I was a little disappointed for sure, but to come back the next day and have a lot better finish, and then having even making it to match play. So it was good. I'm very happy with it so far.
Julia, your path to this point has been a little bit more delayed and different than some, right? Your ability, of course, has been there for many, many years as part of the Team USA program, and then bowling collegiately. So easily, ability-wise, you could have been out here as a star from the beginning in 2015. But your path took you a different way with school and work and different priorities and things that you wanted to take care of first. And then the regional program allowed you to continue to compete at the top level while finishing all of those things, which that could have been a very tough decision or an easy decision for you to take that time, knowing that you could have been out here and succeeding, for this amount of time. But talk about that and what went into that decision, and what benefits you found off the lanes outside of bowling that would help you in your long-term life that made it all worth the wait to get to this point that you are now as a bowler.
Right. So, you're correct. There's a lot of decision making that went into it. And I kind of had to do a little bit of soul searching about what my priorities were as a bowler and as a student and as a person. And so I kind of had to sit down and do a lot of self-reflection on, what are the things that I want to do. And, at the time, going to college was something that was really important to me, and getting my degree. So there were plenty of opportunities for me to go forward and, start my professional bowling career. But, when it came down to it, my degree was really important for me to complete. And then from that point on, just, and for other people that are maybe struggling about what direction they want their life to go in, whether it's, bowling or other things, just, have a nice sit down and just, look deep inside and, what are the things that you want to accomplish, tomorrow or next month or next year, and really kind of just set it down in front of you, and you might not know the answers, and that's okay. It's okay not to know exactly what's best for you, at this very moment. But, life's not so linear. Everything's not so, A, B, C, D. Sometimes it takes a detour unexpectedly, and that's okay. Everyone's on their own different journey. And so for me, I don't regret the way that I've come to this point in my life right now. I'm just happy to, be able to get to this point. I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to be competing with all of these talented ladies. So yeah, just, everyone's priorities are different, and, I'm happy with the way that, I've gotten from my, A to B.
How did 2020 play into your journey and the timing of things, and what that time off allowed you to do outside of bowling, maybe to finish everything and get to a point where, bowling full time is the direction. But how did you utilize that time to get everything in the order that you would like it to be, so that you can succeed in all aspects?
Right. So at the beginning of 2020 in January, there was actually another regional event that was kind of supposed to kick off the rest of the tour season. So I was able to do a regional in Iowa that I won. And so I thought, at the time, this is perfect. I got to go out there and compete. Like, I feel on top of my game. I learned a lot from 2019. I had a good rookie season. It wasn't the best that I envisioned for myself, but I definitely learned a lot. And I was really excited to work on those things and utilize them for 2020. But then with COVID happening, it kind of pushed everything, to a halt for everybody. And so, like what I was talking about, self-reflection and, kind of thinking about, what am I going to do? I had no choice. I had to stop and think about what my next step was, and whether that was like comfortable or not. Like, I had to. And so a good thing that came out of it, that I could sit there and think about, all right, what's my next step? What can I do today to make me a better bowler, or like a better person? And so with not being able to physically get into a bowling center, you saw a lot of people get creative about, what they could do. Like, Very Crawley is an awesome example on the things that we could do, when you can't get into a center. And so I think that really forced a lot of bowlers to kind of reevaluate the things that, that they're doing. And so I thought it was a good thing. I try to look at the positive about the whole situation. So for me, it let me slow down. I tend to be a little bit of an overthinker. And so having to be forced to kind of sit still, I think, was good for me. And so I try to be grateful for even, the not so great moments that happen in our lives.
Now, Julia, as we kind of look ahead, I know we had the practice session a little bit earlier today. We've been just kind of getting everyone's take on this new pattern that's going to be introduced for the Hall of Fame Classic. What are your initial thoughts of pattern number 3 this week?
I thought it was tough, but I'm not.
Uh-oh. Oh, there we go.
Oh, sorry.
You froze up on our end for a quick second there. No worries.
Oh, dang it. Okay, what did I say? I thought they were tough, but I thought I think that's a good thing. I don't mind them being tough. I feel like that forces us to have to throw good shots. And so even though scores might be low, I think we'll see a lot of good shot making. And so I'm really excited for that. As far as bowling balls go, for me, a lot of smoother motions I thought were best. I started right, and I thought that was the better look for me personally. But then as everyone started playing right, I feel like they kind of shimmed up a little bit. So it's kind of trying to move left, but not getting caught in all that junk. So I think that's the tricky part on kind of handling that transition. But I'm pretty excited. I'm excited to bowl on a little bit of a tougher pattern tomorrow.
How about the format? It's unique. It's a little bit of the U.S. Open and minus the qualifying part, right? You guys have already made it. 24 players, all pinfall drops though. So whether you're first or 24th at that point, everybody's starting from scratch. So total pinfall now, plus bonus pins for each match are going to come into play. How do you feel in the match play environment, those head-to-head matches and the bonus pins? And how do you approach that compared to how you got there, which was 2 9-game qualifying blocks just based on total pinfall?
Right. So with things not carrying over, I think that gives everybody a clean slate. So I think at least for me, it provides more kind of a peace of mind. There's no expectations. It's not like I'm starting from here, I'm starting from here. And so for me, that kind of allows me to, again, clear my head and just start over. And so, but as far as the match play and having 4 people on a lane, from my memory, I don't recall ever having to do that. So that's going to be a new experience as far as pacing, because a normal match play pace, the first person goes on the left lane and then you have the next 2 shots and then you just do 2 shots at a time. I like that pacing a lot. And so with 4 people on a lane, it'll definitely be a different experience. So I think that'll be important, is to get that pace under control. So it'll definitely be interesting, but I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Now we're heading into game number 7. Jackie Evans just shot 278, so we'll stick with her to see if she can continue her run toward the stepladder finals here. Julia, you found success pretty young, winning junior gold, becoming a member of Junior Team USA, and that has carried on for every year since. Now on to Team USA as well, U.S. Amateur Champion. It's something where you kind of got put into the spotlight as a young age. And I know a lot of buzz this week about Jillian Martin. So at 16 years old, kind of finding the spotlight. First off, just would love to hear your impressions on her run yesterday, but also as someone who's kind of gone through that and kind of went into the national spotlight at a younger age. What piece of advice would you give to her just kind of moving forward and trying to manage that, trying to still do what you do on the lanes, but also manage all the extra noise perhaps that's out there?
Right. So first of all, it was so dang impressive to see her compete the way that she did. And the other thing is that with match play, you have to play everybody once. And so when she shot her 278 on top of the 30 bonus pins to jump into the lead, that was against me. And so, but even though she did that, I mean, you gotta just tip your hat to something like that. That's just crazy. You would never, most people don't expect to lose a match with, 257, but, she did that to me and I just can't help but, applaud her for it. That's crazy. And the other thing is that I've gotten to know Jillian pretty well over the past couple of years. She's from Ohio, but she comes into Illinois to practice. And so I've had the pleasure to get to know her and her folks. And so for Jillian, she just has to take it one step at a time. She puts so much work into what she does. Like, she loves bowling. Like, she could do it all day, day long. And I've seen her do it, and she has no problem as far as the physical part. But, she's a smart cookie. She kind of has that experience beyond her years. And so as long as she takes it one step at a time, one frame at a time, and just goes out and, just be who she is, I don't think she'll have a problem. She's just great,
All right, that's pretty cool as well, getting to know her. I know there's a lot of junior tours throughout the Midwest, kind of through that, and I know I know one of them that I follow pretty closely is in Northwest Indiana, since that's where I'm originally from. So, I see a lot of doubles events with the opportunity to cross over, youth adult tournaments and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool to get to see, the younger players match up with players like you, players like AJ Johnson as well. I've seen that as well, which is pretty cool. But it's definitely awesome to kind of see that connection already. And I think a lot of folks would agree with your assessment of her after not only getting to watch her compete, but through a few interviews as well we've gotten to do here live on Bull TV, kind of just to see that she's, for 16 years old, very well spoken, very polite, and just fun person to be around, it seems like.
Yeah, she is, for sure. She's like, how she bowls is pretty much who she is as a person. She just goes out and just, she just bowls. Same thing with her just walking around. She's always herself, and that's always pleasant. And people, when they are who they are, and she's definitely super nice and super polite, and she'll talk to anybody. She's a super cool 16-year-old.
Now, Julia, we've talked a lot about, and we had Coach Rod Ross on a couple of days ago to talk a little bit about the ITRC, and he gave it the greatest way to talk about it from pair to pair. He said each pair has a personality, and I know some folks do not like the certain personalities on certain pairs here throughout the course of the week. But for you, all the time you spent here as part of Junior Team USA, Team USA, you've got to know this building pretty well. Without giving away too much, what are some of those tendencies, and how tough is it to basically know that even though you got an idea of where you're playing from lane to lane, that there's going to be something just tricky about each pair that you're going to have to figure out in those first few frames. Otherwise, you're going to be searching.
Right. And that's happened to me a couple times. There's pairs that I know that are tricky, and I've still kind of gotten caught up in them, unfortunately, but that's just part of the game. And so they're nice little tools, and even though some lanes have characteristics, they might not. Again, it depends on the pattern that's on them. You might have one lane that's hooking earlier or, is tighter than the other, and a pattern might really exasperate that quality, or you might have a pattern that it doesn't really bring it out. And so, but knowing those characteristics is definitely helpful. And I was pretty excited to learn that the kickoff series was going to be here because of all the time that I spent here for Junior Team USA and Team USA. So I was very comfortable, again, knowing the little things about the lanes. And so if you can figure that out, if you can figure that out early on, it'll definitely be helpful and very advantageous, for the rest of the week.
Julie, you've had time to find success at the ITRC with Nebraska, hoisted a couple trophies there, but now you're back by yourself. So walking through the door, bowling individually, but having those memories and all of that experience, how's that felt? Just walking back into the building and seeing it from that perspective, knowing really, your squad was pretty dominant in those events at Prairie View A&M, the times that we saw you. But, it's one thing having the teammates and the coach there by your side, and now to experience that on your own. How are those feelings coming back to you this week?
It's definitely nostalgic to kind of be walking around and, seeing the plaques with my collegiate team and even the photos of myself that are hanging up on the wall. But knowing that those really special moments have happened in this building, it really does help me settle down. I'm not, this isn't my first time here. And so to think back on those successful moments that I've had have really allowed me to just, walk in, almost kind of feel like home and just be able to perform at my best. So it's cool. It's cool to be in a building that, I've performed well with my collegiate team, and it does make me miss them. Nebraska was actually competing in a tournament this weekend. They did very, very well. And so I definitely wish that they were here with me or I was with them, either way. So, but it's good. It's a good feeling to be in this building that we've performed well in.
All right, folks, we are in game number 7 here. PWBA Arlington Regional, joined right now by Julia Bond, a 3-time PWBA regional champion. And we do have a score update. As we mentioned, the big 278 from Jackie Evans last game catapulted her into 3rd place overall. Cindy Brummett continues to lead. She's at plus 216 through 6. Jody Scher at plus 172. Jacqueline, once again, now in 3rd at plus 107. And Carrie Smith, the last spot, currently in the top 4, plus 103. First player out of the cut at the moment, Elise Bolton, who's at plus 74. Fania Kobo at plus 57. And then Tina Williams at plus 9. Those are your 7 competitors averaging better than 200 so far. So we'll keep an eye on them throughout the course of the block as we get to that all-important final game to determine the top 4 for later tonight. Now, Julia, we talked about unique formats a little bit with the match play portion coming up at the Hall of Fame Classic. But you had a pretty unique TV experience in the 2019 season at the Go Bowling Regional Showdown, a 1-game match to advance, and then a 2-game total pinfall match on TV against your teammate from Nebraska, Gigi Mason. That was certainly a fun matchup to watch, and for a lot of folks, just seeing the shot making capabilities that you have on and just your ability to repeat shots, I'm sure puts you at the top of the list for a lot of folks as one of the up and comers on the PWBA tour. But talk a little bit about that unique experience on TV last season and just what you took away from it.
Right. So I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Like, to have that type of experience. And that's kind of what I'm talking about with pushing people to do the regionals. Again, like I'm still searching for my first PWBA national title, but to be able to do the showdown and be on TV and to have the pressure and have the lights on me, like, I think was a tremendous experience that is only going to help me when the moment comes, when it comes down to me trying to compete for my first title. And so I just think it was super fun. And unfortunately, no one ever wants to bowl against a really close friend. And so, because Gigi is also another amazing bowler who, she's super talented, and she's just a great, funny person. And if you haven't had the chance to meet Gigi, like, you're really missing out, because she is such a funny, fabulous person. And so to be able to win that regional title, against a really good friend, it was just a good experience, and I wouldn't have wanted to bowl against anyone else, for something like that. And so it was just good. I'm really happy that we even had something like that to do, and I think it just, it absolutely helped me to be able to be in that experience with the lights and be able to come out on top. So it was a really, really good time.
Julia, true fact. That's the main reason why Matt doesn't bowl anymore, is he doesn't want to face off against me in title matches anymore. So that's why he's looking more for the senior tour now. But that's why he's not lacing him up at league with me anymore. He couldn't take it anymore, bowling against me all the time. So
It's all true. Aaron speaks the truth for sure. But I'm going to get a lesson at the ITRC with Lou Marquez, and he said some great things about the facility. So I'm going to be ready. I only have about 8 more years until the senior tour. So plenty of time to practice and get some equipment drilled.
For sure.
All right. As we look at, as we mentioned, Jacqueline Evans making the move last game, some struggles here in the early going on 9 and 10 after a strike to kick things off, 3 consecutive opens. Julia, that's something that happens to the best of us. You have the success on one pair, all of a sudden you move, and all of a sudden, whether it's you just miss a move or potentially don't catch the that was a great shot there to bounce back. But when you find those struggles on a new pair after having a great game the game before, how quickly is the thought process moving to, wait, what just happened? I just had this great look, and here I am struggling to find something.
Right. Could you repeat the question? Sorry, I cut out a little bit.
Oh, sure. Just looking specifically at Jackie here, she had a big game last game, shot 278, but some struggles this game. And that happens to all of us. So, when that happens to you, all of a sudden you're like, I just had everything to, why do I have to, all of a sudden, like, my look is just gone. How frustrating is that? And what's the quickest way to, like, work your way through that to get back on track like Jackie just did there with 2 strikes?
Right. So it's extremely frustrating to have a great game and then go to another pair. And I did that. I think I shot like 250 or like 240 one of my first games, and then I went all the way down to 1 and 2 and shot like a 170. And so it's extremely frustrating to do that, but that's just part of the game. It depends on your cross or who started on that lane, how did they play the lanes, and that's just something that you just kind of have to accept. So no matter how frustrating it is, the faster you can get over it, the better. And so really just, even though you shot a great game, you have to go to the next pair, and you almost kind of have to reset as if it's the first game all over again. Or even the other way, if you start with a bad game, same deal, start over. It's a new pair, a new game. You kind of just have to reset your mind and just really pay attention to your ball motion. If you get on that new pair and you throw your first shot can already tell you a lot about how the lane's going to play. Is it hooking more? Is it hooking less? And then you can just make smart choices from there. And so even though, like, for example, like you said, Jackie, it took her a couple frames to kind of figure out where she needed to be, but then she has a double. There's a lot of game left. So even though you might not start off as strong as you'd like, you just kind of have to pay attention to what your ball is doing, make smart choices, and then, just be a one-shot warrior, take one frame at a time.
I think you made an interesting point there too when you talked about making the move across the house, and that's something a lot of folks get to experience with tournaments, but maybe don't have quite the same experience at. So obviously you guys are working with the ball reps out there, and they're kind of charting some of that information for you, but they're not necessarily always there, and some folks don't have the ability to kind of have that keen eye looking after them. So when you're in an event where you're on your own, what are some of the things that you look for in ball motion when you kind of have to go to that new pair? And what are the telling signs for you to say, okay, this is different, I got to make a change?
Right. So something that I like to do, like if I'm by myself at a tournament, one of the first things that I like to do is that if I finish my game earlier than where I'm going, I try to scope out what that pair is doing and see what the scoring pace is like. Where are they standing? What kind of bowling balls is there? Is there someone on the pair that throws it kind of similar to me, or is in the kind of the same area that I was in? So once I throw that first shot and looking at my ball motion, even regardless, I think it's always a good idea to see how your ball is, going into the pin deck. Is it going high? Is it going kind of light? And sometimes, when you leave a 10 pin, all you're really doing is just going a little light. And so that might mean either you need to go a little bit right, maybe you need to make a ball change. And so I think that's just to kind of make it as simple as possible. Just pay attention to the way that your ball is going through the pins. And I think that could really tell you a lot about the type of move or adjustment that you need to make.
Some excellent advice out there to the folks in Bowl TV land watching along. This is the PWBA Arlington Regional. Just one game of qualifying left to go. And we got a few players in the mix. We'll, once again, you can find scores and more at pwba.com. Julia, just talk about, for you personally, heading into a final game in a situation like this, and you're in the mix. What's the best way to kind of, I guess, calm the emotions, if you will, especially if you're bowling well or you need a big game perhaps to make it into the cut? Just what's the best way for, just to kind of approach that, knowing that there's something on the line this game?
Okay, sorry, you cut out, but I think I heard most of your question. And so something that I think is really good to kind of calm the nerves is that if you're someone who has a routine, stick to that routine. A pre-shot routine has been extremely helpful for me. Again, like I was talking about earlier, I tend to be an overthinker. So having a routine it forces me to slow down. And so I think having that routine going into the last game, I think is really important. And something that I said earlier, and it's a mantra that I really like, and it's, be a one-shot warrior. And I think that's something that a lot of people kind of talk about in different ways, is that, take it one frame at a time, whatever happened the frame before. And I think that's the most important thing, is to just stay present and focus on your process. Don't try to bog yourself down with a lot of extra information about what this person's doing, what that person is doing, or, trying to chase perfect ball reaction. Just focus on your process, focus on the things that you were doing well, take it one frame at a time.
All right, everybody, some excellent advice there along the way. Julia, I have a question about the experience so far this week. Coming into this, knowing that you were going to be relegated to the hotel or the ITRC, what were some of the essential items you had to have with you to make it through these this week at the Kickoff Classic?
Oops, sorry, it cut out again. Could you repeat your question?
Sure. Kind of looking at the unique situation with the Kickoff Classic this week. You're either at the ITRC bowling or you're at the hotel. What were some of the essential items that you had to bring into this event that you couldn't live without for this 10-day experience?
Okay, that's a really tough question because I'm naturally an overpacker. I feel like I bring things that I don't even need. So that's a really tough question for me personally. So for me, definitely my bowling backpack. That is essential, and that's always my number one travel tip, is that I think a backpack is fabulous for traveling, to take your shoes and all your accessories, because you never know what's going to happen with your luggage. And it's a scary place to be when your luggage gets lost. My water bottle. It's important to stay hydrated, when you're competing. And so my water bottle is a definite go-to. I'm a person that likes to take notes. when I practice. So I definitely need to have a notebook to write down my thoughts. And that's kind of what I was talking about earlier about not trying to overthink, writing down the essential information. So I'm not trying to think of all these things at one time. This is such a hard question. Oh my goodness! Out of everything you could have asked me, I didn't expect this one. But I think that's the basics. Obviously my jerseys, and my uniforms is definitely important. Essential. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the basics. I'm not gonna try to overcomplicate it. We're gonna stick with that.
I like it. I like it a lot. All right, Julia, as we wrap up game number 7 here with just a couple shots left, we'll let you get back to enjoying your Sunday here. But for the folks out there in Bowl TV land, it's been fun to have the PWBA tour back. What's it been like for you just to be back, be competing, and going for titles once again?
Oh, it's awesome. I think you can ask any of us, and we're all just going to say that we're just so grateful to be here and to have a chance, because it was tough. Like, I'll be honest, like when everything closed down and not being able to bowl, like it was a weird place to be, to not be able to do something that you love doing. And so to be able to be out here and competitive, is amazing, and the fact that to everything that we're doing, whether it be like how we're handling our food situation or the hotel situation and the COVID test that we had to take, like everyone here is just so committed to making this work on the athletes' end and on the PWBA's end. And it's just amazing to see what we can do and it's innovative. This isn't, as far as bowling is concerned, this has never happened before. So to be kind of the first, group of people to go through it, it's different, it's unique. But I think it just shows, what we're willing to do, to have the chance to compete. And so all the ladies here are definitely committed, and it just makes it even more, special to come together and to make it work. So definitely grateful, to be here and to, it's weird, it's definitely a weird experience, but still more than happy to go through it just to be able to bowl.
Absolutely, and we definitely appreciate getting to see you again, getting to see you compete. And with that, we'll also say best of luck the rest of the way. 24 more games to go, and hopefully a few more after that as well. It'll be fun to watch, and we'll be looking forward to that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for having me, guys. It was awesome.
All right. Thanks for joining, Julia. All right, Matt. Very cool there to have Julia join us for a couple games here. We're getting down to the end of game 7, which means our final game of qualifying is coming up. This is going to be a big finish here from Jackie Evans after some struggles this game, but we'll get a rundown of the scores here momentarily. Get a better idea. She's going to get to 179 after that stubborn 7-pin. Once again, she moved into 3rd place overall. Taking a look around the ITRC. Elise Bolton with game 7 in the books is at plus 79. Carrie Smith had a nice 225 this game, so she's going to be at plus 128. Sydney Brummett still leading the way at plus 234. Jody Scherer, one step closer to making it to the step ladder final. She's plus 211. Ali Tetra a little bit farther back at plus 15. That's just taking a glance really quickly around live scoring here. So we'll get a little bit better idea of that all-important 4th spot number as Jackie drops 21 pins. She was at plus 107. So it could be pretty close between her and Elise heading into this final game. I did not catch what Fania Kobo shot. She was 46 pins out of the number to start this game. So we'll keep an eye on her as well as we get one step closer to determine our top four for later tonight. It's going to be the stepladder finals of the PWBA Arlington Regional, taking place at 9 p.m. Eastern right here on Bowl TV. So it's just past 5 local time. It's 8 local time for the show. So right about 3 hours from now, we'll be going live for the first regional title of the 2021 season. All right, everybody, as we get the final game of qualifying underway, let's go ahead and have our giveaway. So we'll be giving away another year-long subscription to bowltv.com. And all you have to do is click submit entry when it pops up on the screen. So be sure to check that out. The giveaway is underway. I repeat, the giveaway is underway. So best of luck. Hopefully we, in a couple of seconds, we'll have someone taking home a cool prize. On the lanes here for game 8, since we're on 9 and 10, looks like Jody Scherer and Sydney Brummett coming right to us, our top 2 throughout the course of the day since game number 1. Sydney in the lead, plus 234. Jody at plus 211. Both of them pretty much locked into the top 4 at this point, outside of a really rough game to finish things up. Once again, folks, all you have to do is click submit entry for your opportunity to win. And we have a score update as well. So despite the 179 last game, Jackie Evans has held on to the last spot, but it's much closer now for that 4th spot. Sydney Brummett plus 234, Jody Scherer at plus 211, Carrie Smith at plus 128, and Jacqueline Evans at plus 86. Elise Bolton at plus 79, 7 pins back. Fania Kobo at plus 61. She is 25 pins back. And Ali Tatro at plus 15, 71 pins back in this last game. Congratulations to Darren for winning the Bull TV subscription. Our marketing team will be reaching out to you shortly to get you all squared away. Thank you to everybody for participating. All right, folks, after the shot from Sydney, we will go ahead and make a quick move of pairs here. So we'll be popping back up on the screen for just a second to head over to channel 11 through 14. We have Jackie and Elise featured on those pairs. So with the top two spots pretty much locked in, and Carrie Smith in pretty good shape as well. We'll keep an eye on her from a distance. We'll watch them compete here in the final game, going for that final spot. So here you go. Here's Matt and I. Sorry for that. You had to see us for this long, but there, we're gone. Okay. And now we're to lanes 11 through 14. Once again, just 7 pins separating Elise and Jackie, and there they are. I'm sure talking about the difference. And Jackie saying, "You're not going to get me." And Elise saying, "Yes, I am." I'm sure that's what they're talking about right now. But both players off to strong starts. Elise will be stepping up here on 13 in a moment. Jackie on 12. We'll also be joined by Tina Williams on 11 and 12 and Brittany Brown on 13 and 14. I mentioned some of the other players in the mix. Carrie Smith, who has a spot in the top 4 at the moment in 3rd place. She's currently at plus 128 and on lanes 7 and 8. And Fania Kobo is over on lanes 3 and 4. taking a look at 3 and 4. Fania Kobo having some early struggles, 2 opens and just 1 strike here in the early going, so potentially falling out of the mix. For Ali Tatro, who needed a real big game, also some struggles here in the early going. So it might just be a showdown of 2 players right here in our featured pair for that final spot. As Jackie essentially matching Elise right now, shot for shot, trying to stay ahead. But as close as this is, if Jackie were to miss and Elise kept striking, Elise would be gaining that number 4 spot outside of some big struggles from Carrie, but so far she looked good through the first couple of frames. Here's Elise far right of your screen and keeping the pressure on. With as much striking as Elise and Jackie are putting up right now, Elise 49 pins back of Carrie Smith, so we definitely got to keep an eye on that if we're pushing 250, 260 here. Carrie did have one little hiccup so far this game. She missed a single pin in the 4th frame, followed it up with a strike in the 5th. They're also a little bit ahead of pace as well compared to Carrie over on 7 and 8. So an opportunity for Jackie and Elise to finish up their game and their block first. Over on 9 and 10 are top 2 players in the standings all day today, Cindy Brummett and Jody Scherer. It was Cindy with a 23-pin advantage heading into this final game, and right now she is still maintaining that top spot for the step ladder. She's getting ready for her 6th frame. Jody has gained 12 pins back so far. So that'll be exciting to follow down the stretch as well. Excellent shot there from Elise to ring the 10-pin. That quickly drops her max down to 259 now with just 2 frames left to go. Jacqueline Evans stepping up now, looking for her 7th consecutive strike. And connects had 278 2 games ago. Still an opportunity to shoot 290 here in the finale. Carrie Smith unable to double after that strike in the 5th. 10-pin left in the 6th frame. She's currently on a 186 pace. Based off of that, and hopefully my successful borrowing of the magic number tool device created by Jason Thomas, if she does finish with 186, it would be a target score 236 for Elise Bolton, which she is essentially just a mark away from getting. Can still shoot 259. Finishing up with a spare and a strike, however, would be 239. So Carrie will potentially have to find a double in here. And maybe more if Elise strikes out. Jackie's in the 260s already with a mark, so she is going to secure her spot. And taking a look at the top spot as well, it is close. Jody Scher just delivered a double in the 7th and the 8th. If she were to strike out and Sydney were to strike out, I believe Sydney would hold on to the top spot by a single pin. So business beginning to pick up. Sydney unable to strike in the 8th frame, so at the moment, Jody has the chance to take the overall lead heading into the stepladder finals. I think this is going to work out where we could potentially watch all three of these back to back. Elise up first for her 10th frame. There's the mark. She's now into the 240s. At least if she doesn't strike here, and still a chance to get to 259. And big time trouble for Carrie in the 8th frame, working on a strike, the 7-9-10. And that leave is going to, if we give her the 2, that's 125, 134, 194 her max score. Which would drop her down to plus 122. Less than that now. She only got 192. So plus 120. So Elise Bolton has done what she's needed to do to get into the top 4. 246 will secure that spot. Elise gets to plus 125. We'll get Jackie's final shot here before we head back over to lanes 9 and 10. Looks like Jody got the first one, the 10th, and folks, Looks like she's going to be our tournament leader. 279 for Jackie Evans in the all-deciding game. We're going to pop back up on the screen here for just a moment, folks, as we see the hug there between Elise and Jackie. And we're coming back. Max score now for Sydney Brummett, 216. Jody's already into the 230s. So may actually need the strike now that I'm looking at the math. The difference once again was 23, so it's going to put her at 238. Which gets her to plus 249 overall. If Sydney strikes out to get to 216, she's at plus 250. She's the top seed by a single pin. And the 4 pin does not fall for Sydney. And folks, we know our position now for the stepladder finals tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern here for the PWBA Arlington Regional. The 1998 PWBA Rookie of the Year, Jody Scherer, is going to be our top seed. She'll be followed in the stepladder by Sydney Brummett, Jacqueline Evans, and Elise Bolton. All those, of course, unofficial on our end until the official scores are announced by tournament director and USBC Hall of Famer Tennille Milligan. But there it is for 196. So Sydney will finish at plus 230. Plus 249 for Jody. 165 over for Jackie and 125 over for Elise. That first shot in the 10th ended up being the deciding hit here. Carrie, after the split in frame 8, hasn't missed. So she's going to finish at plus 120 with a strike on her fill ball. 191 for plus 119. So 6 pins the difference. As it looks like we're just about done with qualifying across the house here.
All right, athletes, that completes your qualifying of the PWBA Arlington Regional. Please add up those score sheets, sign them, and turn them into the front counter or Rob Gottschall or Cecil Scarborough. I'll announce who will advance to our Gold TV Step Ladder Finals at 8 p.m.
All right, everybody. That was our tournament director, Tennille Milligan. With the announcements, we'll see. We'll stick around for a couple minutes to see about waiting for the announcement for the top four. We're pretty confident about the number. By our accounts, plus 249 leading Jody Scherer, the 1998 PWBA Rookie of the Year. In second place, Sydney Brummett, longtime junior team and Team USA member at plus 230. Jacqueline Evans, the past junior gold champion at plus 165. And Elise Bolton, a PWBA regional champion at plus 125. 6 pins ahead of Carrie Smith, who finished at plus 119. Those are my official or unofficial numbers. And it looks like we are updated online here, so all that seems to hold true. Jody first, Sydney second, Jacqueline third, Elise fourth, Carrie Smith, the first player out, 6 pins back. After that, taking a look a little bit deeper into the standings, in sixth place, Fania Cobo at plus 33. Stephanie Martin's strong finish for her, 247, 236 to get to plus 28 in seventh place. Ali Tatro at plus 9 for eighth. Tina Williams at plus 8 for ninth. And then Abby Ragsdale, the rookie this season, wraps up the top 10 at minus 24.
We have our top four for our Gold TV Step Ladder Final. In fourth, we have Elise Bolton at plus 125. In third, Jacqueline Evans at plus 165. Qualifying second, Sydney Brummett at plus 230. And our tournament leader is Jody Scherer at plus 249. Loaded cash was Carrie Smith at plus 119. Athletes, thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Your support of the PWBA Tour. For those who need help getting their equipment back.
All right, folks, there was the official announcement from tournament director Tennille Milligan. So we have our top four for tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 local time here in Arlington, Texas, for the PWBA Arlington Regional. Jody Scherer, the top seed, Sydney Brummett, number 2, Jacqueline Evans, 3, and Elise Bolton, the 4 seed, competing for the first regional of the 2021 season. It's going to be exciting. Once again, we've had 2 great stepladder finals already this week on the national tour side at the Bowlers Journal Classic and the ITRC Classic. So we are excited for this next opportunity. But folks, for right now, we are going to go ahead and sign off. Remember, you're watching now on Bowl TV with a login. You will need a subscription a little bit later this evening to watch the stepladder finals of the Arlington Regional. So if you haven't picked that up yet, we encourage you to do so. A few different options. If you want to go long term, watch the PWBA all season long in 2021. Pick up an annual for 2021. There we go. For $79.95. That's a recurring subscription. Along with the monthly recurring is $9.95. So a few different options there. Looking ahead for the next month, we got some collegiate events as well. Actually, 3 of them that would fit into the time window if you want to think of some other events to check out. Or if you just want to watch tonight, $4.95. We will have a giveaway as well. Let's see, an Atari Flashback 9 Gold will be given away as well. So right now for Matt Cannizzaro, Jason Thomas, Mike Flanagan, we talked to Chuck Gardner today, Valerie Bercier, Dasha Kovalova, and Julia Bond. A big thanks to all of them for their work today. Of course, all the folks here on inside the ITRC doing all the hard work as well. We appreciate all the work. And with that, we're going to go ahead and sign off. I'm Aaron Smith. Thanks for joining us here on BullTV.com for the PWBA Regional Tour. Once again, tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern, stepladder finals, Arlington Regional. Pick up your subscription now. Click Join Bull TV to get it all squared away for tonight. But folks, that's going to do it. Thank you again for joining us here, and we'll see you a little bit later tonight. And of course, remember on Bull TV, bowling lives here. See you soon, folks.